The views and opinions expressed during this program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not reflect the views of Explorewithsu. As such, this channel cannot be held liable for any legal actions arising from the content of this program.
Hello my bessies, welcome to this channel. It's your girl Susu here. If you are not subscribed yet, please do well to subscribe, support this channel, like this video, comment and share. Thank you.
And I am ready to die defending Nigeria in whatever way. When it is God's time for us to go, it is
and you
not
took my
going
time to God. You are ready to defend Nigeria. I gave you my time.
No, I'm coming.
Alexi, hold on. You already started.
What I'm saying, defending Nigerians is this.
I gave him my time and he's using it to defend me.
No, sorry. I'm sorry.
Tinubu is a criminal, yes, of course, a categorical grade 1 criminal. The only person more criminal than Tinubu in Nigeria is probably Babangida. But he's a criminal, and is he fit for purpose? Absolutely not. Should Tinubu be the president of Nigeria? Categorical no. Is there a better option than him? That is subjective. So show me who he is.
This is not a joke. It's not a turn-by-turn thing here. I wouldn't be here. After this election, stop coddling Showore and having him running his mouth. He cannot win a single local government. So
you are the one running your mouth. Like, stop be respectful to Showore. And be insulting Showore. Are you mad? Are you alright?
Mute that guy. Mute him. It's my turn.
Are you mad?
Mute that boy right now.
Amari, hold on.
Mute that son of a bitch.
No. No. Pansa, no, you don't say. No, this is not good. You see, this what I think I've said, why do you people want me to be making commentary, editorial commentary on this? This is your chance to speak. But you guys are making me to make editorial commentary. Why do we think that, hold on, Pansa, hold on. I'll call you when I'm done. Hold on. Everybody hold on. Why do all of us think that we are that important? Anybody, whoever you are. Why is this? Do you think this election will? I've seen the world. I don't know where you live. I don't know how you study history. I've seen the world. Nothing. This is not the end. This is not the end. We can't allow people to come here and talk this way. It's not good. You can make your point and quietly, and people will get your point. You understand? Nobody. No, not yet. I'm not finished. Maybe I'll start treating this as like a classroom. I teach a class. Nobody can speak like this in my class. It's not possible. But I just know that I want to engage. I want people to have conversation. I want to make it free. I don't want to start putting people, banning people, stopping people from talking. I don't like that.
I have been sick of this problem.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today. Today we have a few topics to cover, and Dr. Damages is not available today and may be joining us from next week. I thought he said I should let you all know. I'm sure you all are missing him. Cannot wait for him to return to the channel and so that he can be moderating the way everybody loves. So, but in the meantime, I'm going to be playing the title and the title so that we can start, going through the videos for the clips for today. So I'm going to be starting with a preacher. So let's go.
I have been sick of this problem. I have been sick of this controversy over living wage or minimum wage. And I believe that something is seriously wrong with the heads of many of our leaders. How can anyone who earns 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, not to talk of people who earn 1 million, 2 million, how can they go to sleep in good conscience every day? How can they go to sleep in good conscience and come out to sit down in a boardroom to discuss the sustainability or otherwise of paying 60,000 to the poorest of workers? How can we go to bed and sleep, all those who belong to the elite, who earn 2, 3, 4, 500,000, 1 million? How can you go to sleep in good conscience, I say, if you still have any conscience? How can you go to sleep in good conscience and come out to be debating? I hear people on TV, I watch people on TV, experts, economic experts, corporate executives, government officials, who are taking home more than $1 million in a month. And they are there arguing that 60,000 or over will destroy the economy. It's not sustainable. How wicked! You give 60,000 to a poor worker, a poor worker who may have a family of 2 or 3 or 4, for his feeding, for his accommodation, for his house rent, for his medical care, for his children's school fees. How wicked! How blind! How can we do that? And we think that God will bless our country? We think that it is by bringing a new national anthem for God to bless our country? How can you commit this crime against humanity? For me, this is a crime against humanity. Because the poor people who cannot afford to buy gari, I'm not saying they will buy that they are to buy sardine. I'm saying buy gari, poor people who cannot buy gari. I'm not talking of meat or fish. Poor people are dying because they have no money to cure malaria. How can you go to sleep in good conscience? Those of us who belong to the elite, how can we go to sleep with good conscience and we are debating and we are discussing and we vote 500 million naira to meet and debate about paying 60,000 to the poor? My dear friends, I see this as a new form of apartheid. Nigeria is one of the most unequal societies in the entire world. A society where it's like the animal farm. A society where we have conspicuously rich people, people who are living in conspicuous consumption, and others who are in deplorable, dehumanizing poverty. If you have somebody in this country that takes home 1 million naira, I mean 1 million, I'm not talking of 30 million naira, 1 million naira in the month, and he can open his mouth to be part of a discussion about the poor getting 60,000 naira. I say anyone who earns up to 1 million naira in the month should keep his or her mouth shut when he hears them debating about taking 60,000 for the poor. More than 60 years after independence, we are running an apartheid society. This time it's not racial apartheid, it's economic apartheid. We are running an apartheid society of people of conspicuous consumption, flying in private jets around at government expense, people who are riding 4, 5, 6, 7 SUVs with pilot vehicles, chasing the poor out of the road, and poor people, you are debating, you are discussing, you are over 60,000 for the poor. You insult the poor by saying 30,000, and later you say 48,000, and now you say 60,000, and you pay more than 60,000, you come out with 62,000. You insult poor Nigerians. I say there is hardly any society I know that is as divided as the Nigerian society. And a society that is so divided is just sitting on a keg of gunpowder. I have warned here before that the revenge of the poor is at the corner. The revenge of the poor is at the corner. I am not calling for it, but it will happen as night follows the day. Because when you so reduce people, You reduce people to this dehumanizing level. Nature does not allow a situation of islands of affluence amidst a sea of poverty. Nature does not allow it. And let me warn those in the elite. Let me warn those in the tripartite committee of government. Let me warn that it is in the course of nature that when a predator continues to devour the very resources that the predator needs for his own sustenance, nature will take out the predator in order to have equilibrium, in order to have a measure of equilibrium. Nature is about balance, you know. All of nature is about balance. And human beings are part of nature. And Nigerians are part of nature. If the predator who needs the animals in the kingdom, it needs the animals to survive, if it is recklessly devouring the very animals it needs for its own survival, if it is devouring it recklessly and senselessly, nature will step in and remove the predator so that there can be balance in the system, in the ecosystem. Let me warn that all those who are in government, I hear, I have not confirmed, that there are people taking home almost 30 million naira in the month. And you have the guts and you have the temerity to sit down, and your conscience allows you to sit down to discuss about 60,000 naira for poor worker for the whole month, and you are the one that has all the opportunities of ex-Esther code and all kinds of perquisites of office. You sit down to discuss about 60,000, and that is all that the person will have in the month. You sit down to discuss this and come out and say, this is not sustainable. How is 30 million naira sustainable in that economy? How is it sustainable that the leader has 100 SUVs going with him to the airport? How is it sustainable? How is it sustainable that government leaders junket around the world? How is that sustainable? I say we are committing a crime against humanity. And if we do not repent and retrace our steps immediately, the revenge of the poor is at the corner. Do not hold me responsible, because while the devastation was on, I did not keep quiet. Do not hold me responsible, because while the madness was on, I did not sit on the fence. I kept on shouting that the revenge of the poor is at the corner unless we change our course. And if we do not change our course, we will end up where we are headed. And where we are headed is devastation, is destruction, is violent revolution. I rest my case.
A day like this will not be complete without appreciating the role played by the likes of Colonel Abubakar Dangiwa Umar, the likes of Chief Abraham Adesanya, Alani Akao Boshoru, and the likes of Fred Eno. Mr. President, even though the governor of Kaduna State removed me from the seat, I will always remember that he was one of those who stood for us when we were in prison. He was among those who kept the torch of freedom alive while many of us languished in the cell. Mr. President, I would like to draw your attention to this fact and this truth. The national anthem cannot unite a nation. A national pledge cannot unite a nation. A constitution cannot unite a nation. A nation is united by the ideals of freedom. A nation is united by equity and by justice. Many younger generations of today have not and couldn't know the sacrifice we have made to restore democracy to this country. It is important that we bring to attention to those who were not here in those days of the struggle. This democracy was not a gift given to us by the military. It was not a lottery that we won. It was a product of struggle and sacrifice. There were people who were forced into exile, like the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, and the likes of Wole Soyinka. There were people who were sent to prison like us. We're supposed to spend the first 15 years of our life in prison, but by the magnanimity of God, we were out. There were many who were dead. This democracy was a product of struggle. The Academic Staff Union of Nigeria made sacrifices. Nigerian media made sacrifices. The Nupeng, headed by the like of Frank Kokori, made sacrifices. The National Association of Nigerian Students made sacrifices. This democracy was a product of that struggle, was a product of that commitment, and was a product of that determination. Mr. President, you have a duty to succeed. If you succeed, you will share your glory because you came from the trenches, you came from that struggle, you come from that period of struggle. Mr. President, if you fail, they will say that those of you who fought for democracy have nothing new to offer to Nigeria. We will pray for you, and we believe that the reforms which you have taken, there is no doubt about it, you too have recognized the untold hardship and the suffering it has inflicted on millions of people. But we are expecting that at the end of the day, it will bear fruit, and people will rejoice and say that the sacrifices that they have made, the consequences of that reforms, was something that was worth all this trouble. Mr. President, thank you for the honor and the privilege, and do something about the Nigerian prisons, because they were the ones who hosted us in those days and in those dark days of the struggle. And on the last call, Mr. President, there are some people who are still in detention as a result of the NSAS protest. They were young people who were protesting for justice, for freedom, and for democracy. Any young protester in Nigeria today learned from you, because you were the father of protest in Nigeria. Do something about it. Give them the freedom. Give them the freedom. Taught us, you funded us. You funded us and fight. To stand up and fight. They are your children and your grandchildren. Give them the pardon. Give them the pardon. And God bless. Thank you and God bless.
A notice from me if I've changed my mind. On minimum wages. He's looking at me with one kind high. Notice from me. A notice from me if I've changed my mind. On minimum wages. He's looking at me with one kind high. Nothing but about minimum wages. A notice from me if I've changed my mind. On minimum wages. He's looking at me with one kind high. Nothing but about minimum wages. We're going to do it what Nigeria can afford, what you can afford, what I can afford. That's to cut your coat according to your size. If you have size at all.
Tinubu and Akpabio laughing and mocking Nigerian workers who did nothing wrong. It is no fault of theirs that the same government, the same incompetent Tinubu, in his quest to increase revenue, devalued the naira, increased the cost of petrol, which has diminished the purchasing power of Nigerians, not just the ordinary worker out there. His trial and error policies have cost many Nigerians their jobs. Yes, thousands or millions of workers have been thrown into the unemployment market because of his trial and error policies.
Early this morning, I had a struggle, and it's on the social media,
The special guest of honor for today's historic occasion, Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was born on 29 March.
Early this morning, I had a struggle, and it's on the social media. They are confused. Whether I was doing Buga or doing Babanrega. But it is a day to celebrate democracy. Why doing Dobale for the day? I'm a traditionally Yoruba boy.
We can say now banditry is an industry. in Zamfara State. Last month, we arrested a member of the State House of Assembly in banditry here in Zamfara State. We arrested a district head. We also as well arrested a former local government chairman. So you can see that involvement of this class of people in banditry is making the situation to become more and more complex. So in essence, I can say that all caliber of people now are involved. All manner of people are involved in this banditry. More alarming and more disturbing is the involvement of a district head in supplying drugs to the bandits. So in that respect, your presence here today
bàbá ló rán mi wá kẹ́mi wá ló gbà tèmi gbogbo àbínú ẹni o ẹ jẹ́ lọ dákẹ́ jẹ́jẹ́ bàbá ló rán mi wá kẹ́mi wá ló gbà tèmi gbogbo àbínú.
Calling that the lecture topic is on we're in Nigeria. My pen.
Many companies have left Nigeria as a result. Microsoft left the other day. Facebook just downsized their workers. They sacked many Nigerian workers. They've also said that they will reduce the size of their workspace in Ikoyi. Will they be the next multinational to leave Nigeria? And to think that the people that caused all this, the people that brought this calamity on Nigerians, are busy mocking and laughing at Nigerians instead of being apologetic. How despicable. At least Shetima understood that it wasn't a laughing matter. That's why he wasn't laughing at all. Yes, it's not a laughing matter at all. People are going through serious hardship. And to think that Tinubu and Akpabio are laughing at Nigerian workers, this is clear proof that they don't mean well for Nigerians. The money doesn't belong to you. He's saying how much he can pay. No, Nigerian workers are working for the federal government. They are not working for you directly. They are not slaves. They're only asking that the government considers the hardship that they inflicted on Nigerians. Imagine if the Naira wasn't devalued. Imagine if petrol price wasn't increased. There wouldn't be any need to pay anyone more than 40,000 Naira as new minimum wage in 2024. Yes.
My fellow Nigerians.
Remember that Tinubu said in his June 12 Democracy Day address that he will forward the minimum wage bill to the National Assembly for approval. But the labor unions are saying no, that he must negotiate with them first before moving to the National Assembly, that they want to see the new minimum wage he approved. Also remember that the reason the labor unions paused the strike was because of the direct intervention by Tinubu. He promised to intervene and offer them a better minimum wage, better than the one the negotiating team offered. And now he's trying to betray that trust by not negotiating with labor, or at least telling them the new minimum wage he approved. Instead, he wants to move it quickly to the National Assembly without the people who are involved knowing how much is being approved for them. It doesn't make any sense. These people see themselves as demigods who are not elected by anyone, that they can't be held accountable by anyone. They are not responsible for anyone. They are just there to do whatever they want to do without recourse to the due process and the law. And the more people don't resist or protest, the more audacious they become. Look at all the hardship they brought on Nigerians. And despite the fact that they have refused to increase the minimum wage, they are already planning to buy 2 new jets for Shetima and Tinubu. Can anyone believe this? In this hardship, they say they don't have money to increase minimum wage, but they have money to buy new private jets for the presidency. Can this be real? How can they be borrowing to fund their frivolous lifestyles? The World Bank just approved a loan of $2.5 billion for them. Are people aware of all the borrowings the past 1 year alone? At the rate Tinubu is going, he will surpass all the borrowings Buhari did in 8 years in less than 3 years. Yes. There's another thing that is very wrong in the disparity of salaries paid to Nigerian civil servants. When you look at this chart prepared by Budget IT, you will see the lowest earning civil servant, how much he earns, about 35,000 Naira. Now compare that salary to the highest civil servant of level 17, who is earning more than 500,000 Naira per month. This disparity is very wide, unlike in Western countries, where the manager and all the workers below him that are in the same department, the disparity is not more than $100. Yes, they are doing the same jobs. Why should one earn 300,000 more than the other, or even in some cases 400,000 Naira more than the other? It's not fair. If they employ professionals and pay them differently, maybe they are paying them as consultants, they won't work full-time, it's understandable. But people in the same civil service, no. This huge disparity is why there is serious corruption. People will do anything to get promoted. They will do all sorts of backhand deals to get favors from people in power. Apply this disparity in salaries to the Nigerian police, the army, the air force, and other security agents, you will see that it is not fair. Soldiers in the front lines will be earning about 60 or 70,000 Naira per month, while officers in the office, maybe they wake up every day, go to the office, go to the barracks, move around, carry files around, they will be earning 200,000 Naira per month. It's not fair to them. In fact, this is discriminatory. If they are doing this because of education, experience, and the time the person has put in the service, they need to set a minimum education requirement for employment. Most of these directors might have master's degrees or doctorates. If that's the case, they need to start employing master's degree holders as minimum so that they can pay them a living wage and close the gap in the disparity between level 17 and level 1.
When I buy 4,000 Naira. 4,000 Naira. See, I'm here. See, I should take it. 1,000. See, 4,000 Naira tomatoes. Video me made a say that I tell them so. 4,000 Naira tomatoes. Now be this so. Where are we heading to? Now should say I said you don't bring me. I want to can do stew. 4,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 p. 15. 4,000 naira. Nigeria, we are improving. Thank you.
War against terror in Nigeria is far from over. Gentlemen, let's move on. Some sad tales about killing and maiming of people in vulnerable communities tell us that the war against terror in Nigeria is far from over. In recent attacks, more than 300 armed bandits attacked some communities in Zamfara and Katsina states, killing more than 40 people, while scores of others escaped with various degrees of injuries. The Commissioner of Police in Zamfara State, Mohammed Dalijan, confirmed the killing of some of his officers. Residents also revealed that the attack was in fulfillment of the promise made by the bandits to strike again after their last attack. Okay, let me start with you. We're back here.
Yeah, thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today. I think you've all seen the headlines. There is another one that I didn't include, which is Dangote looking to go into steel production. I think I will share the video later. There is a lot of things been going in the country with falling down, laughing at workers. You know, the whole thing is just, the week has been full of information that most people will not find uplifting. Apart from Dangote, I guess, depending on how you look at it. So, Steph, if not now, when is your new profile name? Thank you for joining us today. Righteous Man, thank you for joining us. And people on the chat, I really appreciate you all for joining us today. Like and share the video, and make sure that you subscribe too. Don't forget to subscribe, it's very important. And let me just respond to this Alexander Gomez message. He says, why on earth is the president laughing at the minimum wage debacle? I'm not sure why he's surprised. There's something about him, but I don't know whether it's him or he's just truly laughing at them. Like, you remember when he was saying that people that are jackpotting, it's not a problem. Let them jackpot, we'll make more and send them to supply them more. He's the kind of president that doesn't seem to empathize at all. He doesn't seem to understand the people that he's governing. I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he does. Maybe I'm just the different one. Probably I'm the different one. So I'm not going to assume that he's different. Maybe he knows the people more than we do. So people on the panel, they can comment on this. I'm going to try to play Dr. Damages or Okeja as much as possible. Well, you know me now. My mouth is too big. I'm not going to be quiet. So, but I'm going to try to be asking questions. You know, just maybe we'll get a bit more in depth about the subject matters, and there's going to be a lot of talk about so many other issues that I'm going to be bringing up. So let's start with the first person on the panel. The first person on the panel is If Not Now, and it's not very usual. Yeah, you come this early, so I really appreciate you for coming us and joining us today. And Pastor, I acknowledge your you joining us too. So, If Not Now, what do you think so far? Just you know, surface level stuff. We'll go more in depth later.
Yeah, good morning. On which particular
there are many. You pick and choose. Whether the one is laughing at civil servants, which I don't understand. Or the lady talking about cost of living, or you know, any of the pastor that was talking about how wicked our leaders are about the living wage, or the issue of insecurity. You saw in the north, soldiers lost not soldiers, actually police officers lost their lives, and a lot of people too lost their lives in the process. And I'm actually in the process of trying to get, you know, most of the platforms to start a campaign on national security. And I've started, you know, people are beginning to pay attention to it. I think we have to start making noise that we don't like these things, because the president, I don't think he knows. Look at Akpabio just laughing. They don't know. You have to let them remember that, you know what, we are seeing you laughing at us, and you are screwing up the country, and you are laughing about it publicly.
You know, ordinarily, I would have thought that that thing is like a hot mic situation, but watching the video is not actually a hot mic issue.
Not at all.
It was deliberate. You know, it was a comic session, and is well unfortunate. But I don't blame them. The people that I blame in that situation is actually the Nigerian Labor Congress. Is on They sold their dignity when they called off that strike to they say they're suspending it for 1 week. You've been doing negotiation for like more than a year, and then when you exhausted every means and decided to yield that stick just within 2 days, the president was not in coma before. The president had been alive, well and happy. He knew about all the negotiations going on all this while. But 2 days of the strike, because the president said, okay, I want to intervene, you called it off without getting what you want. That was a disappointment. So that he has the right to laugh at them. He's actually laughing at them because he knows that they don't have balls.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So had it been that it was the days of Adams Ashumole, how dare you, after negotiating with you for 1 year, you are playing around, toying with them, and they eventually called for strike, and within 2 days, without any tangible promise, without any tangible reason, they will now suspend it for 1 week and see what have happened since that 1 week. Nothing. And the next thing you hear is that I'm going to send the minimum wage bill to the National Assembly. What is the bill?
If not now, let me show you something. Let me show you. Maybe this is what the Labour Congress are busy doing to show you that the Nigerian people, we are in a serious situation. Let me show you something. This is what our Labour people are doing. They send the largest delegation to International Labour Conference in Geneva. In the world, there are countries that have 1.4 billion people. They didn't send as many delegations as our Nigerian Labour Congress did. We are in trouble. So I just thought I should share that.
The same way Buhari sent the largest entourage to
exactly
to the climate summit. The same way the NLC. I think we are in a very big mess. And that is why what the preacher was saying, I don't even think it's going to happen. Because I think we're enjoying it. What's going on now, we are really, as a country, and that is why sometimes I feel that you can't cry more than the bereaved. You know, when Nigerians are really pushed to that corner, we will all know. And everybody will rally around and see what to do. But for now, they're just looking for the person they're going to use to do a scapegoat. Maska, good morning.
Thank you. Next, please.
I think Righteous Man, you're next.
Yeah, it's Righteous Man.
Yeah, my Righteous Man, you're next.
Yeah, good afternoon from here. I pray. I don't know what to say. I'm just, my spirit is just down. Because, it seems as if life is not worth living in this part of the world, you know. I was just called upon by a family. I rushed down there. That was early this morning. They have a year plus old baby and was diagnosed with hernia, but no money to do the surgery. And this girl had been in serious pain. Taking the baby to General Hospital, they couldn't offer any help. Private hospital is demanding a humongous amount of money. Just a little baby of a year and plus months, a little baby girl. The parents are just in tears, nobody to help, nobody to assist. I got there, the little I could do, I do, but the pain that baby was going, I mean, I met some ground. I started shedding tears. If it was the days when man was man financially, I would have taken up the burden and make sure that that child undergoes the surgery. It's really a painful thing. We're in a society where the government is not helping. I just pray that that child lives, you know. So it just made my day very broken. I'm not happy, really, really not happy. You know, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's just terrible, you know. Sometimes when I come here and I mention the pain, the poverty level that Nigerians are going through, the people at the section of, the comment section. So that man called Kaluta, and so many of them. I don't want to elevate them, but I think they should know that there is a supreme being called God. They may think we come here to rubbish people and say all kinds of things. From the biblical point of view, say whatever a man sow, he shall reap. In any way you are doing things and you think nobody is seeing you, we go scot-free. God Almighty is there. One day you will pay for it. Nigerians are suffering. Thank God for, if you go to Dr. Damage's page, you will see some pieces of okra being sold at 500 naira. And look at the woman, just some 15 small balls of tomatoes sold at 4,000 naira. If I had come here to share it that the poverty has gotten to that level, that the likes of Kuluta and some irrelevant challenge, we start using ungodly words to describe their father, not me. So it's really a pity. Nigerians are in real trouble. Food are no more forthcoming from the north, and that now means that it is not our oil. I want to really be brutal this time. It's not the oil from Niger Delta that is sustaining Nigeria. It's actually the food from the north that is keeping this country alive. Now, since the insecurity have made the food not to be visibly seen to the hands of Nigerians, everywhere is let loose. I am telling you, we have to do something to make sure there is security in the north and also validate their input into the country, into the sustaining Nigeria. Because people will think it's the oil from Niger Delta. Now we have the oil, but there is no food and we are crying, which means the oil value is as good as nothing. You know, considering the impact of it in the life of Nigerians, the oil value is only blessing the elite in the society. But the common Nigerians, which dominate about 75 to 80% of the Nigerian population, rely on the food coming from the north for them to live. This food is no longer available. Nigerians are dying. Nigerians are crying. Nigerians are weeping. We are drilling oil, but the effect of the oil is not shown. Had it been that the farmers are working and there is security in Nigeria, if they like, let them spend the billions from the oil, we won't feel it. Look, I went to buy a tuber of yam a few days ago. Usually that tuber of yam will cost on a normal circumstances. That tuber of yam should not be more than 800 naira. Between 700 to 800 naira. I bought it a few days ago at the cost of 4,700 naira. Just a tuber of yam, because I was so hungry. I said, no. Since John Abraham had refused to give me yam from Benue, let me go to the market and get this tuber of yam. And I got it at 4,700. A tuber of yam that could not serve 3 people in my house. I just managed to eat and remain small for my wife and some other persons. A tuber of yam, 4,500. And somebody is saying that he's going to pay 62,000 naira as a minimum wage. And they are preparing to buy new aircraft for the president and for the vice. I can't just imagine. Sometimes I say, I don't know whether these people are really actually humans that have blood and water running in their system, or they just come from a different planet and then become whatever they are. How can you be planning of buying jets when the Nigerian economy is in comatose, when there is no job, when people are crying? They have spent about 21 billion in building a house for the VP, and they want to buy another jet. Come on. I don't know. It's like we have to go back to God in prayer, because this one, lamenting will not solve this issue. It looks as if our problem is practically spiritual. Something comes upon anyone who sits in that place as president and vice. Because the man as our president today, President Tinubu, when he was not the president of this country, he was crying and doing everything possible to see that the Nigerian people get well. But he has become president today, and he doesn't want to even know if we are crying. He doesn't care. Look at the fall. That fall is spiritual. If you ask me, how can you fall on June 12th? Anybody can fall. Don't misunderstand me. Anybody can fall. But if you see the viral video that is on the internet now, where Wike was demonstrating how the president fell, I don't know whether any of us have come across that video. You know, if I have your number, I will send the video to you. He went and had a handshake with the president, and as he left the president, he demonstrated the falling. And the president looked at him and was just laughing. So everything in Nigeria is just in a comedy section and autopilot. Nobody is actually in charge. Whatever we wake up to see, we take it that way. So Nigeria, we need intervention, divine intervention, so that Nigerians can be alive. Thank you.
Man, you know, all these things you said just reminded me. You know, I played a video of one of the June 12th parade, this motorcycle. They say there was no fuel in the motorcycle or whatever. It broke down in the middle of this, and then there is the canvas painting that they claim to be the world largest this thing that is not. And then you are unfolding the image of the president when you are marking the remembrance for June 12th, which is Abiola really, and there's so much. We as a people, we have to ask ourselves, look at Labour Union, look at what they went and did too. It's like you said it yourself. It's like when we get into any office, our head change for some reason. We have to ask ourselves, what is it in us that does that to our own people? Pastor, thank you for joining us. What do you think so far, Pastor? You're muted.
Yeah, sorry about that. Apologies. I didn't watch that video where the Senate president was laughing, but it's not necessary to play it again, because it's not different from when it was in the house and they said let the poor breathe, and he raises they use it as a joke on the house. It's unfortunate the way things are happening, but I need you to clarify something for me, please. The purchase of the jets, of the aircraft. I'll come to you, righteous man. I want to the purchase. Who is signing it? Who is signing the money? Who will sign it?
The president, of course.
Is it not going to go to the the House for approval?
It will. It will go through.
Okay.
It will go
so
through.
Why I ask is just to be 100% sure. It's just to further highlight what I've always been saying, that our lawmakers know what they are doing, and that is where our greatest problem lies. I stand on that. There are records to prove that, and until we, the people, start to challenge. I think there was a video that was shared in the that I don't know which state that people were stoning a lawmaker I don't know if you saw the video on the moderator's platform. They were stoning one lawmaker. I don't know about that. So until the people, we start to hold these lawmakers by their balls and put them to tax, we will see change, because everything passed through them. They are the one to hold the executive accountable, and we are the one that's supposed to hold the lawmakers accountable. But we are not doing our job. It's not easy, because when if poverty has been on for this long, for people to come together to see that is very challenging, and that is why I've been singing the same hymn or national anthem for the past 80 years, and I will continue to sing it. The video I played last week is about it. Still pulling all resources and all personnel together to see what we can do in educating the people on the floor, on ground in Nigeria. There, the situation is critical. The woman showing a tomato, a basket. Righteous man, correct me if I'm wrong. A basket of beans, in some places it's 1,700. In some places it's 1,500. Am I correct? You're on the ground there.
It's not a basket, a derica of beans.
Yeah, it's a derica, not a basket.
Yeah, a derica of beans. Like where I'm living, a derica of beans is 1,400. A derica.
Okay, I thought it was a
Yeah,
basket
and
of
then
beans. So that's serious.
a pint of Gary is 4,000 naira against 1,000.
I know that. I buy. I mean, I buy it, or I tend to buy it every time. But it's a righteous man. Yes, you said we need divine intervention. I have to be honest with you, righteous man. God ain't gonna come down to do this thing for us. It ain't gonna happen. I've said it here over time. I have been privileged to read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation over time. And it is clearly there that God ain't gonna come down to do the things he has already done for us. It's up to us. So if anyone is preaching that is misleading. It will only help us when we start to do the right thing. It's there in the Bible. No one ever sat down and something started to fall on their lap. No. Even the children of Israel that ate manna for 40 years, you know what it cost them. So we have to take responsibility to say we have to do these things. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you have. We all go to the same market. We buy it. You've not heard APC members or APC supporters buying petrol at 100 naira. Not possible. We all buy it at the same price. So we are in a crucial stage. We have 3 years before the next election. If we don't fix this thing before the next election, I've said it here before, and a lot of people have also said it, Buhari will become president again. If not him, it's going to be Wike. If not Wike, it's going to take down the list of this name.
Buhari has left.
I said Wike, not Buhari. Sorry, Tinubu, I beg your pardon. My apology, not Buhari. Thanks for that. Tinubu, if not Tinubu, it's going to be Wike. If not Wike, it's going to be Akpabio. If not him, it's probably going to be Sheyi Tinubu. Don't be surprised. So I will keep saying it. We have to come back. The earlier broadcast today was about what Majek said. If we don't unite, we have to come together to unite, regardless of who we support or who we don't support. Because at the end of the day, the reality of the matter is it's affecting everybody. Thank you for that. I yield the floor back to you.
Pastor, It's Ferrari next, isn't it? Ferrari, welcome. Thank you for joining us. What do you make of the headlines?
Good evening, everybody, all panelists. The headlines is not new. It's the same week after week. It just get better every week. It get worse. So let's not delude ourselves and say that this headline is worse than the one we read last week or the one we read the week before. Not the one we've been reading for the past 50 or 60 years or 40 years. It is how we've been responding to it that is different. We might react a little bit more today than we should have last week. That's the problem. But what also is not new is the fact that your political leaders, the elites, the educated ones among Nigerians, have repeatedly over time tell you the truth. But it's up to you to believe them. They tell you point blank, they are animals in human skin. They tell you point blank, they are evil and wicked as it could come. They tell you point blank that they don't give a rat about you or your family. And the most important thing they tell you, but you don't take them serious when they are telling you this thing, is that they work for Satan and the Legion of Doom. But Nigerians like to delude ourselves. That's why I always fight here and argue. At least those of us who are fortunate enough to see the walls of a classroom, that our discussion has to be elevated. Our discussions has to be focused. Our discussions has to go beyond Arsenal versus Liverpool. What do I mean by that? My party versus your party. APC versus PDP. Labour versus unknown party. Our discussions has to be elevated. Those who are responsible for your problem, the principalities, they are telling you who they are every day, but you don't take them serious. You rather come here and repeat the same thing they told you on Arise News or Channel. You regurgitate the voice of the oppressor. You don't come up with solid plans on what is necessary, how to address it. You fight each other over issues. Yes, Showore said this about Obi. Obi said this about Kwansonko. Kwachoko said this about Atiku. Whatever. We attack our fellow Nigerians instead of those that are affecting us personally, making us buy five grain of Ila okra for $500. You don't attack those ones. No, they are your people. They are your men. Oh, Tinubu, before he became president, he was a good man. Another Nigerian delusion. What good man was he? He has been telling you who he was from the way back, from the days he was selling drugs to the days he became governor. Why would you say things like that? This type of delusion we come in public to say. We have to wake up. They tell us who they are. They want to oppress you. But the problem is not them. And I keep emphasizing and repeating, the problem is you. Some of us, we have accepted this oppression. We have surrendered and abdicated our own responsibility to our own office. What office is that? The office of being a citizen. We have abdicated the responsibility of our own office of a citizen. We are not citizens, we shout, but we ourselves don't call ourselves to order. We don't call them to order. Of course, they will rule you with impunity, laugh at your joke, tell you that your money is their money. That's what he said. He said, let me read directly from his word. Cut your coat according to your size. If you have a size, what's ridicule? Of course, they will tell you if you have a size. Do you have a size? They're telling labor. It's part of the team that I want to talk about. If Rudolph give me a chance tomorrow to host, Labour can change this country if they are man enough. We have to elevate the level of discussion that we come here to do. Not all this childish talk, Obi versus Showore nonsense and all these other childish things. We need to elevate and say, we are citizens. We have responsibility to ourselves, not just to ourselves, to our children and to the children yet unborn. If we are buying 5 grains of Ila for 500 now, what would our children buy? Look, I called one friend while I was trying to invite someone to this show, who we did a Luther together, and we had a one-on-one talk for almost 2 hours. He said he's frustrated with the Nigerian problem. He's tired. He said, how do you help people who don't want to help themselves? That for now, at his old age, he just wants to relax and enjoy himself. And I tried to tell him that you can't do that, not now. Because a man is known at the point of crisis where you stand. You're not doing this for you. You're doing it, if you start speaking up, you're doing it for children and children yet unborn. I'm trying to convince him to be engaged. We are not engaged enough. We are not reacting enough. These people have told you they work for Satan and the Legion of Doom. Let other people talk. We will still have more to talk about.
Thank you, Ferrari. And it will be nice to see you on tomorrow. You're gonna be hosting your show tomorrow. Masca, thank you for joining us. And please go ahead. What do you think about the headlines so far?
All right. Good evening, everybody. I'm not going to comment on the headlines, but the mere fact that, like Ferreira said, I also believe like him. These are headlines, yes, but these are not the issues we should be discussing. The discussion should be at a higher level. It's certainly not for an individual that fall down or that fuel finish in a motorcycle. Yes, even the prices of goods and services, it's good enough, but the real issue is the trajectory of the prices. If, as the woman counted today, I think about 13 or 14 tomatoes in that, the postulation we should all be worried about is in the next 6 months. So how many tomatoes will be inside that pail? So I think I'll pass over in terms of discussing headlines when the real issues are on the table. Hopefully it will be early in the evening, but I'm going to be patient to wait. Even if it's at the midnight point when we elevate the discussion, I will still be there to put my input across. Thank you.
Yeah, real thank you about that. And because these headlines, they seem symbolic. I think there was a time I could, dismiss those things. If you want to relate to people, you see how people responded to the lady in tomatoes. They didn't, the way they responded to that one is more. Because people gravitate towards those things more because they can relate to it better than the kind of stuff maybe yourself and myself will be able to discuss on a different this level. So it's symbolic. There was that video of Umahi, if I'm not mistaken, making a speech, and the power supply went again. And he's like, "Oh, this is Nigeria. This is what we are used to." And it's almost as if
okay. So forefathers, for instance. Somebody like me and like Mr. Righteous Man, who are in Nigeria, like honestly speaking, even my kids, they've stopped shouting when NEPA takes light.
I see.
So we can't, it's not an issue. These are not issues anymore for us. The issue is also, like Ferreira said, okay, what will be the end point? The only visible end point for now is probably elections, even if some may disagree. But this is what people should be looking at. It's like you've entered your one chance. You've entered armed robber's car. What is the point now? It's fighting them. You are looking at the next bus stop. How do you get off this one chance? This is what I'm thinking Ferreira is saying. To sit down and say that the man is pointing a gun at you, it's what are you saying? Obviously, yes. But anyway, I am not disputing the fact that the headlines are catchy and all. I'm simply saying that I'm passing over my option to talk about it. That's all. Not
I
disrespect
agree
to
with
the
you.
topic.
No, I agree with you on that. Because I would do the same if I was in your shoes. Onwibon, thank you. Welcome from Ghana. You know, always keeping an eye on your motherland, your true motherland. So, so what do you think about what you've had so far? You know, the one that happened in Katsina, that one, I don't know whether you want to, you know, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much to Naja. And good evening to every one of you in the studio and those in the comment section. I thank God for giving me the privilege to appear here today. Because of how it is raining here, we are in a very difficult situation right now in Ghana because of the rain season. What I would say here right now is that just like what my brother Ferrara said, these people don't give a hoot what happens to you. They don't care. By the way, did you elect them into office? You did not. With your BVA machines and so on and so forth. Your PVC, it didn't work. How can you hold someone to account that you did not elect? How can you? The device means to rig you and rig the opportunities and the, everything that God has given to you in that country to survive as a human being. We are just talking on the cosmetic level. We are just looking at it on a cosmetic level. During Goodluck Jonathan's time, Nigeria was the biggest economy in Africa and the 24th in the world. Today, Nigeria is number fourth in Africa. From 500 to $400 billion economy to 200 and something billion dollar economy. Today, South Africa has taken over. I told you people here that if the big brother fails to understand that he is the big brother, he will be pushed aside, shamefully pushed aside. No matter the comment, the trolls from the comment section. When people come out here to speak the truth, some people that believes that probably they are benefiting from the corrupt system that is going on in Nigeria will begin to troll you, begin to castigate you. Instead of them to, join in the struggle, they refuse. The only thing they do is to comment irrelevant thing that doesn't make sense. And these are educated people, I miss. Nigeria is bad. Who made it bad? The leaders first and those that they are leading. What must you do in order to correct these malfeasance, especially when it comes to those that lead you? What will you do? If this foundation is bad, what will you do to Nigeria? If the foundation empowers you to rig election, commandeer every aspect, including the judicial system, what are you going to do? What would the people do? Go out there and they will level their barrels of gun and munitions, live munitions upon you. What are you going to do? The per capita income of an average worker in Nigeria was $3,000. Today is below $1,800. How do you expect such person to stand and sustain a kind of protest? Someone who is hungry. Someone who is hungry will sustain protest? I don't think how they are going to do it. Right from the beginning, we've been campaigning and talking about the system. Destroy that system. Destroy that foundation that is giving these people enormous power to do what they are doing to you. You people refused and told us that it is the PVC that is going to change it. Today, you are suffering because of the PVC.
Anyway, to Niger, I leave it here. I leave it here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Olumide, are you there? You seem very chilled today. That's good. It's a good thing when Olumide is chilled. Olumide, please go ahead.
Yeah, good day, everybody. So, to Nigeria, I watched your tirade and monologue during the week about security. Recruit. More and more. That was your tirade. But anyway, so for me, like I said earlier on when electricity hosted this morning, when he said the boat are sailed. Yeah, the boat are sailed, but you know whether you guys
Olumide, is it possible to mute whatever sound is in the background?
Sure.
Thank you.
So the boat are sailed, but yes, the truth of the matter is that until you allow the people choose who they want, you won't get a better society. The only way to hold this government accountable that its ship has sailed already. You know, they've been affirmed by the Supreme Court. When it was even when it was pretty clear that they rigged themselves into power, you know, they never raised any issue. Their campaign was never issue based. They would never said what they wanted to do for the people, how they were going to achieve it, you know. And they knew they were going to rig themselves into power, and whatever they did to influence the judiciary to affirm their illegitimacy, you know, that is all in the past now, boss. The only way to hold them to account through Nigeria. I mean, I should be telling you through Nigeria market now. Our market. So is to allow the people choose who they want. Let the people vote who they want. Let people come out and let us see who we want. People who think they qualify to lead us, Showore, Peter Obi, or any other candidate for that matter. Let them go around the country and raise issues. You know, let that be the same situation in local government elections. State governors should stop influencing who becomes the local government chairman. Let it be free and fair, so that these resources can be judiciously used for the people. State governors should lead the local government chairman.
Olumide, something has arisen. You see, I keep telling you this. Like the last time you talk about election, I told you how are you sure the people are not electing these people? Because they are not actually electing these leaders deliberately. They don't necessarily have to lead them out.
Which screwed up election are you talking about?
No, the ones I'm talking about is like the last one where all of them came in and they selected them in the parties and then they go on to vote for them. Because look at NLC now. NLC that we were all criticizing the president for traveling overseas with so many delegates. NLC go there and break the record again. Try to carry all the delegations.
See. In a society, even in the society that we live in, me and you, that we say it's a lot better, more advanced than where we come from. We read the daily newspapers every day. We hear the news every day, and you see people being called out or being mentioned in the news for wrongdoing. You understand? And they hold them to account. Let the system let it work its way fairly. That's what we're saying. Our system is not working. All these things it's not the first, it won't be the last. They will always keep occurring. Wrongdoing will keep occurring in the society. But how do we treat
my problem is that I keep telling you that maybe it's not the system, maybe it's the people. Because this is where myself and Ferrari converge.
Which people?
That the people themselves, the moment they get into positions of office, they tend to violate
the
office.
You mean the people working in INEC? Yes, let's talk to them. You mean Yakubu and his people working in INEC? Let's talk to them.
Including labor unions.
You mean the governor? You mean the governor running a state that has the budget of the state with him, that will not allow the local government chairman to implement use the resources allocated to the local government, but we'll keep it for in the state coffers to say, oh, don't worry, I will do it. I will do it and divert the money to somewhere else, whether personal use or whether to some other project that the local governments are not carried along with it.
But is it not only them that are doing it? That's the thing. I keep telling you that when you go to Nigeria today, you give somebody the slightest thing, if they can cheat you, they will find a way to cheat you. Most of them.
Okay, so, it's okay. Okay, that's fine. So, Nadia, thank you for your input. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
It's my time, and I will use my time to say whatever I want to say.
Of course, I'm just.
Thank you. I appreciate your input. Thank you.
All right.
I will use my time to say whatever I want to say. So what I'm saying is that allow the people choose who they want. Let the process play itself out from state, the government level to local government level to federal system level. You understand? When you cheat and rig in elections, you don't have a right for somebody who goes to write WAEC exam not to cheat. That's the same thing you're creating. When that person begins to cheat from the WAEC exam level, GCE level, that is the kind of culture they will build up until they become presidents of your country, and you expect your country to be run well, and you expect your country to be good when all they've done their life is cheat and changed figures. You understand? Now, where we are today, I'm going to say this plainly now. Where we are today, people like Papa Adebayo, the late Bola Ige, let's call this spade a spade. They've made mistakes. You understand? They were good people. They were good leader women, work for their people. But when you lay a wrong foundation, when bad is bad, bad is bad. When you lay a wrong foundation, you knew this man had things that you weren't proud of, and yet you foisted him as governor of the state, Lagos State. Look at where he has led us to now. When the right candidate, when they did a primary election, then AD, it was this man that won, Williams. What's his first name? This Lagosian that was murdered. Funshaw Williams won. You know, and these people that we looked up to as elders, Bola Ige, Pade Banjo, they said, no, this man fought for democracy. He did this, he did that. And they knew that he had all this tainted record. And Gani Fayewumi came. You know, when I sit down and begin to think about our problems, Bola Ige was a revered Yoruba son, but you know, all of these mistakes, when somebody has done bad, let us call it out. It doesn't matter whether it's from our tribe, whether it belongs to somebody else's tribe. When good is good, bad is bad, let's call it out. I'm saying this with tears in my eyes right now. Look at where it has brought us. And this man means nothing for this country, nothing than to gather people with the same mind and objective to come and steal and mismanage the country and run the country dry. God help us in 2027. That's all I have to say. God help us all.
Thank you. And Righteous Man said something I found he knew he was saying something astonishing. That he realizes that the North is the one that has been sustaining the country with food. Even if the politicians are busy wasting most of the money, but the North was sustaining the country with their food. So that is very interesting point that the Righteous Man made there, because in the end, people need to eat, and now the farmers are not going there. I think okay, Ferrari, you want to add something before Jagun goes?
Just saw the back and forth between you and Olumide there. I just wanted to say, in line with our deeper thinking, I want you all of us on this panel to think about this. We start, it's 1 minute I'm going to use just another. Voice is suppressed. After voice was suppressed, actions were suppressed. After actions were suppressed, it leads to wrong actions. Wrong actions led to the foundation of what we now know as Nigeria. The bad foundation, the foundation results in bad effect. Then we repeat this over time for 60 years, and that becomes our culture. And now the culture is what has now produced our system. So And we now want results for a change. Which one do you think we need to change? All of you just ponder on that. We might tackle that more tomorrow, but that's the way the sequence go. It started with voice suppression, action suppression, which led to wrong action. The wrong action led to a foundation, bad foundation. This was repeated over time, becomes the culture, then the culture becomes the system. Now you want to change. You have to ask yourself that question. What do you need to change?
That is quite accurate there. Jagon, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Good afternoon, all. I've come on board. I've been taking a few calls, so I haven't listened to everybody the way I would have. But I've come on board largely because I see the heavy hitters are here early. People like Alaba, Pastor, Steph. You know, I greet you, my brother, righteously. Righteously. So forefathers, if you can, because I'm quite interested in the way things are happening at the moment, politically in Nigeria. And again, because it's Nigeria, it comes to me in a very complicated fashion. I'm not sure whether or not Tinubu is actually pushing. I don't know if I'm on subject, so forgive me for my words. I'm not sure whether Tinubu is actually pushing for a reversion to regional politics in Nigeria. But I have seen some time ago, well, not some time ago, about 2 weeks ago now, the utterances of one, I've forgotten the guy's name actually, and he's put forward a new map, a new regional map.
Elder Fakonda.
Well, that's him. That's the guy. And I saw that very early, and I looked at it and I thought, wow, this is similar to my own thinking as to how Nigeria should be. I've seen the map of the regions that he has proposed, and again, it's quite close to what I believe should be happening in Nigeria for Nigeria to reconstruct itself and emerge in a truer form of a political design that should bring forward at least economic and some level of political understanding. And I'm not sure. Again, as I said, it comes to me in a way that, yes, Mr. Fabunda is doing what he's doing, but is the government really doing what they're supposed to be doing? Now, between Tinubu and Shetima, what both have kind of iterated seems to oppose each other. So it comes to me as, are we being fooled again as to their earnestness of bringing forward a new Nigeria? Or is this just game playing as normal? It brings me to the point of understanding that we Nigerians, no matter where we are, those of us who are thinking about our growth and emancipation, we seem to want the same thing. Maybe it will come out slightly differently from each other, but generally we want a move from where we are right now. We want not to be where we are right now, politically, economically, culturally. We're in a really strange place. So I still have to underline the responsibilities of the individual to join the real race of changing that country. Changing it needs to change. And it seems to me that the changes have been spoken from every quota of the country, including the North. The North, who we may suspect as being people that are dragging their feet in one way or the other politically. They themselves are coming to the point that, you know what, regional government would help us. In the East, it seems regional government would help them in the East, which is a very troubled political zone. And we all know as Nigerians that the power of the East, if organized correctly, it would be the power of the country in many ways. I think in the West and the Midwest, I think there is a real understanding of what is missing and what they can be doing because they have memory of for argument's sake, a well organized part of Nigeria from its beginnings. So they have memory of how things should be as opposed to how things are. So with all that's going on politically, I still call upon the individuals amongst us, not just on the panel, but individuals to really understand that we cannot just watch the politicians and expect them to do the right thing. That is not going to be sufficient. We, as individuals, have to come together with all the contacts that we have to bring economic, political change to our nation that satisfies us, that is African led, that is Niger wise. We have to become Niger wise somehow. We can't just be doing this rubbish all day long. It's extremely irritating, frustrating, and it's not leading us everywhere. I must tell you, here in the UK, I think forefathers would agree to this. There are people who aren't Nigerian in this country who are looking at Nigerians to do something. I don't know whether or not we're really taking on our own responsibility. I'm talking about not even just Africans who are looking at Nigeria. I'm talking about Caribbean people. They're looking at Nigeria to do something. They want more than ever since I've been in this country, do Jamaicans, Barbadians, Brazilians that I come across, these people want to come to Nigeria. They want to come to Africa, yes, but more so than everything, they want to come to Nigeria. And I feel it is upon us to begin to strengthen ourselves in order to make change in our country. And I still see that we have a great opportunity unless we wish to miss it again. We can easily miss all these opportunities that are before us again because we are weak as individuals. As individuals, we don't even know what to believe in or how to believe. Now, if I'll just end on this, there was a conversation a couple of programs ago where we were speaking about the difference between faith and knowledge. And this is where it really comes in. Because you can have all the knowledge you want right now, but unless you've got the faith to make moves, I don't believe we're going anywhere. You know, I speak to certain individuals on this very platform and I listen to them and I see that they have no faith in Nigeria. They can tell me the history from A to Z, but they don't believe in Nigeria. They don't believe in themselves where the Nigerian concept is. So I don't know how we're going to get there if we have no belief. I'll just end it there. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that regional issue, and that's another thing. Anyone that feels like a topic we are not covering that happened during the week, they want to bring it up, I think that would be a good thing, because that regional one, I think it's 8 regions they were proposing, if I'm not mistaken.
And the FCT, yes.
Yeah, so this is a map, and it's very interesting. If they all have a resource control, I'm sure the South will be the happiest because they will just take all the crude oil money. But yeah, but whether Nigeria will agree to that is another thing. Now they will not find that funny. Who is? Let me pull this away again and then bring this back, and we'll get back to order. Yeah, welcome, Man of Prestige. I think, was Man of Prestige here before Prof. Data? Okay, Man of Prestige, thank you for joining us.
Greetings, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be. Yeah, I don't really know what the topic, we are talking about today. We have to just chime. Is it about Tinubu stumble or the creation of state? Or you just want me to chime in with anything that's viable to me?
Yeah, anything that is viable to you, because we talked about, let me just reiterate that we talked about how the government Tinubu and President Tinubu and Akpabio were laughing at the workers. We talked about the cost of living, how some people were finding difficult to buy food stuff in Nigeria. There is the issue of power failure with Akpabio. There is Anyoma, I think Peter Obi fights back. Peter Obi did fight back. I don't have any video about that in terms of him going on news and trying to dispute some of the things people say about him. And just you know what happened during the week. Whichever one you can go ahead with it.
Thank you very much. Let me start from the regional something that you just portrayed here right now. Is it the right way to go? I mean, Nigeria is in a quagmire right now because there's nothing really working in Nigeria. Let's be realistic. Let's not come here and just start, say, okay, we are not progressing. I mean, we are regressing, in my own opinion. But having said that, this regional problem, I don't see it going nowhere because I'm not against the North, but they will not go for it. I mean, you see them, they're already, chastising the whole issue because it's gonna be on their own detriment, detrimental. So let's be very factual on that. That's not gonna happen. But if it is happened, it's good, it will be good, for us to have a regional government. I mean, you control your own resources. Maybe, I don't know how they're going to divide it, maybe 40 to the federal or 30 to the federal, because you have to give part of the resources in order for the federal. So that would have been a proper thing to do. But we can come here, speak all we want all day. It's not going to happen in that country because the Northerners, they are very influential when it comes to Nigerian politics. But I don't know what that is. Even in this population, everybody's talking about, they are more populated than the South. I mean, when was the last census? The one that I can recollect that was close to be accurate, if it is not accurate. Was it 1996 or something? And the second one that was did, it was never, it was never utilized. We don't even know what our population is. The last population we have is 140. How did we balloon to 200 and something? So
how did the balloon to do? What do you think is going on?
We have from the North claiming their security. I mean,
you know how you can tell the census. You know how you can tell the census. Ask yourself how many of your people that you know, how many children do they have, and how many people that you know that are from the North, how many children do they have? That will give you an idea.
I mean, since I've been in this country, I've been in many census, and I was counted. They come to my door and everything. So I mean, you can't even ask any Nigerians, have you been counted? Nobody gonna raise their hand. I mean, very few. So it was just an imaginary census, an estimate. The last one supposedly to be an estimate, which was about 140 or something like that. That's an estimate. That's what they said. Because they said the election wasn't, they said the census, the data wasn't clear. So they just estimate we are 200 and something. So, but anyway, everything about Nigeria, I mean, I hate to come here and criticize my country. Some people had to come here, maybe, talk good about them, but we have to speak the fact. I mean, everything about the country when it comes to whatever we want to do is scam. Nothing is really functioning right. We just have people there, who after their own pocket and something like that. This is the problem we're having. But anyway, I don't want to dwell on that. If we come here and criticize, that's not
what do you think about Dangote looking to go into steel? Do you think it's a good idea?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, but I have an issue. We have talked about, I think it was on that platform.
Yeah, we did.
About Dangote monopoly. I'm one of those people who are against it. I mean, you may say monopoly is good, but I look at his monopoly as a production investment. He's not innovative. People are comparing him to Samsung or those are innovative, Apple and everything. But he's just a productive. It's not helping. It's helping the few. How does that translate to I mean, they say okay, maybe the petroleum, the price has gone down, but in what area does it translate to common people in terms of wage increase?
Yeah, because steel plants they do pay.
No, the steel plant is good. I'm not saying the steel is not good, but I'm just talking about in terms of monopoly.
The economy is going to enable.
Yeah, it's going to benefit the country. They're starting to give, but
what is your problem now?
People. I mean, it's going to benefit somebody like Innocent Motor. Let's say because they do import steel.
Yeah, bridge building, train building, rail tracks.
Yeah,
steel will have them now. All those things we can start building. We don't build anything.
Years? I mean, I hope it comes to fruition, but everything about Nigeria, I mean, I'm in support of that, but remember that the Twitter since I was born. they've been talking about Ajakuta steel mill. I mean,
That's true.
Where are we right now when the Ajakuta steel mill? What standard are we right now? Nothing happened, but I'm not going to dwell on that. So let's just hope something transpires in that area. What do you want to say, Ferrari?
I don't know. This talk about Dangote steel thing is quite annoying. The guy promised you guys oil. He's not yet produced that one. Now he wants to go into steel, and you all are. You see, that's Nigeria. You are so easy to confuse, and then you just go along with any garbage they give you. People like Dangote are part of that country's problem. You all have to understand. We have to think deeper than this. I'll just leave it at that. When we get to my turn, we'll talk.
I think to be fair,
you just
we have to be
the superhero is going to go into oil with our money. They gave him to build an oil industry.
We've had you now.
Now we want to give. Oh God, we get problems.
Before we start calling a potential hero, this thing, the one causing the problem, we have to know what he has caused. Because for all I can see, he's supplying Nigerians fertilizer, he's supplying cement, he's supplying which other thing? Now he's supplying diesel already.
And that is good for the economy. Monopoly is good for the economy, to develop the economy. In your own opinion.
I think that okay, finish your point. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good development, if you can properly utilize, if the government don't borrow the whole of our money in order to support him. If you can do it independently, I mean, as a capitalist, that's what we need. But I believe the problem we have in Nigeria, where person of Dangote start to come in, the government, the government will use our money to support him. And I mean, to a certain level, you have to subsidize. That do happen in America, subsidize, but there has to be a limit. And you let him carry on with his capitalism, where he's going to benefit the country and otherwise. That's where I see. So, but enough of that. Let me talk about the state. This state or something like that. I mean, the state we have right now are not even viable. How many of them are viable in terms of state? I don't believe in the creation of state. If there has to be a state to be created in that Nigeria from Imo, they're talking about creating Olu state or whatever, If there has to be a state, in my own opinion, it has to be Southern Kaduna. Just because of the situation where they're feeling themselves with Muslim over there. That's the only state I can say may be viable. But some people from the East say, okay, I'm kind of delusional because we need to have more state because of the represent, in order for us to garner more representation. They can't just create Olu state, and you don't expect other people to create other state from maybe from the north or whatever. It's not going to end there. Then you are defeating the people. You have more representative. Then another state, going to create, from the north, they're going to have more representatives. So what is the purpose of you trying to have more representatives?
But they are not proposing to create any state in the north. They're just in the southeast.
But how are you going to create in the southeast and what do you expect people from the north? You don't think that's going to end there?
It should. Because southeast is the only region that has 5 states. So they have similar populations. So why shouldn't they have an extra state?
I'm not my region having more state, but what is the purpose? Is it going to be okay? Olu state. Hold on, Imo state right now is a little bit viable, and you're going to create Olu from which is the second biggest city in Imo, apart from where I'm from. You create Olu state, which is part of Imo and part of Anambra state. What resources? How are they going to be viable if it is not for the greedy people who want to have a representative and governorship? What we have right now. Tell me what is the purpose?
I think based on our current democratic system, that states win, and you have areas where you get constituents like House of Assembly members, it's disadvantaging the southeast. That is the point.
I agree to that, but I'm not. I want something that is viable. I mean, you have to be able to function as a state. How many states is functioning right now? What's the population of Imo? Do you know the population of Imo? It's not even up to 5 million. I think it's 4 million plus.
Zamfara is less. Zamfara is barely a state. Is like all over the place right now.
Of what I know. I mean, if they want to create a plan, but I mean that's the least of our worry. I mean, I know a lot of people here in favor of that, particularly people from the southeast. But I don't see the viable of creating any more states. You need to maintain what we have, I don't see how that's going to benefit, apart from the House of Representatives. That's the only benefit. Tell me how that's going to benefit, the people from that area, Olo and Anambra, apart from having more rep.
It's press development. It's press development. When you make other areas capitals,
What
the
do you
area
have
that
to
would
develop? What do you have to develop that you can't develop right now?
no, it's true. Then you might as well say we should have 5 states and we can still develop. But you can see that when you spread the states, it allows, for one, it doesn't disadvantage the southeast.
To Niger, that's not going to end that. That's the problem I have. You can't say let them create our low state, and you don't expect people to agitate for more states, like what I just said, Kaduna State, which are being marginalized and being killed, not just marginalized economically, but they are being killed. Because of the.
I think the argument is about equity in terms of the distribution. That it's not about whether you are marginalized or not in terms of like they are treating you badly in your state. It's about the distribution. All the regions have about 6 or 7, even if I'm not mistaken. Only Southeast has 5.
Is it not based on population?
If it's based on population, Southeast has high population too. So why are they not? I'm just saying, if you look at the numbers, they should have more. It's just fair.
No, it's just my own personal opinion, but I mean, people from the South thinking about what is going to benefit them. I know we have a lot of them here right now, thinking it's beneficial to them. I don't see it that way. I mean, economically, I mean, it's just my own personal opinion. I don't have anything against, I don't have anything against it. I mean, that's the region I'm from. But
I think Pastor wants to add something.
Are they going to create an normal state, which is if they want to put the ethnic, in the same group? Yeah, and normal state is viable. You're going to create people from Asaba, Anyama, Ibuzo, those are Igbo-speaking area. So
those ones they will not agree. I think it's the other area they say they should create it within the current southeast. Pastor wants to interject.
But the point I'm trying to make, that if you create that Olu state, how you think other people not going to ask for more states? That's the point I'm trying to make.
No, they are not. I don't think they should.
End there?
It should end there. It should end there because it's about repairing an inequity, and that's a kind of unfair distribution. It's an unfair distribution where only Southeast has 5 states. It doesn't seem right. Let me just allow Pastor to interject.
Yeah, go ahead. It doesn't open, but if they do it, good. I mean, just my own rationality. Whether it's good or bad, just me. But let them give follow from which is part of Imo, Mo State and Anambra. If that's what they want, I don't live there, but it's my homeland. But it's all good.
Yeah, please go ahead, Pastor.
Yeah, thank you. Jagun, actually, I wanted to weigh in on what Jagun said. I will disregard the other one. Jagun, you said some important things. So for the first thing that came to my mind is it appears you are in your holy temple, not in your devilish temple for speaking today. It's a sense of humor. so you said we've spoken about almost everything. About almost everything about Nigeria on every different platform. And honestly speaking, I agree with you 100%. I hate to agree with you on certain things, but I agree with you on everything you said. So, but these two, I finished with Jagun. These two new states they are creating, just another sense of humor to man of prestige and man of prestige. First and foremost, are you on bed rest in hospital?
Am I what?
Are you on bed rest in the hospital?
What do you mean? Why you ask that?
Where did that one come from?
Where did that one come from?
No. It's dressing. It's your top looks like the gown like somebody who's in the hospital in a bed rest.
What's wrong with my top? What's wrong with my top?
Oh, okay. Now these two states, how will it affect the price of rice to come down or the price of tomato to come? It's not going to stop. It's just to satisfy some people. It ain't gonna stop. It ain't gonna change. It ain't gonna change the price of rice or bring it down, or the tomato, the video you played earlier for father, and that of the okra that we saw that was shared in the, and it ain't gonna change it. That's the point. But like this, like Ferreira said, it's gonna elevate the discussion, and we will see how far, hopefully, it will take us to that promised land. We're waiting till tomorrow. You have your time tomorrow. But this is one thing I really don't understand when what's his name? Man of Prestige was talking about Dangote, and you kind of oppose talking about Dangote or this and that. You may disagree with Dangote, which everybody disagree with his attitude of monopoly or whatever it is. Is the news out there, and people are going to talk about it. I can't dictate to Man of Prestige what to talk about. It's up to him to talk about it. It's up to me to challenge his argument. But we will talk about everything and anything, particularly in respect to the topic that was. Some people will come here, and some people have said it in the comment section that this topic is useless. What sort of topics is there in the comment section? Is this topic of is there? Some people have already highlighted it. So sometimes I keep asking myself, if people have better ideas, better than that I have, than forefather have, than Jagun have, you bring your ideas. It's not a reason enough to condemn other people's ideas. And this is how we're going to get on or elevate ourselves and find a solution or act on a solution, because with profile solutions is for us to act on those solutions. So when we talk about Dangote, it will give room for some people who have even thought about it to say, oh, indeed, this man is trying to monopolize everything. There's nobody that doesn't know Dangote in Nigeria anyway. Dangote sugar, Dangote cement, everybody knows Dangote. It will push people also to say, you know what, maybe I should start to boycott this, but if there's an alternative cement, maybe on my own way of protesting is to boycott and not to buy his cement or buy his sugar or buy this and that. And that is how at times change comes into being. But to say not to even talk about it, or we come about it, talk about it or not talk about it. Well, like I said, we will wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow shall come. God keep us. We shall be here tomorrow. I yield the floor.
Thank you. Let's allow Prof. Data say something. Thank you for joining us. He doesn't come all the time, so we really appreciate you for joining us today.
Okay, hello, are you hearing me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I think this is my first time coming to this show this year. Let me first of all speak on the area of, in short, I would like to talk about this matter of the state of the economy and this matter of state creation. I'm also in line with what Man of Prestige said. I am not in support of any state creation. The reason is simple. The states we have, what have we benefited from them that much? And I just see the state creation as just an avenue to create a room for a governor, to start embezzling money. I just see it as a means in which we contribute to a loss to the nation, because we all know, okay, allocations go to the state. The money going to the so-called states, it doesn't normally reach out to the people it's meant to reach. So if you go on creating states, it's also a means to create, what I call a shortage of funds. So that is to my own, benefit. Some people may not agree with me, but that's how I see it. But in the other area,
there's a lot of noise coming from the background
for the people in the southeast. Yeah,
there's a lot of noise coming from the background. Of course, enemies of progress are already happy. Sorry, go ahead. The noise is gone now. Kene enemies.
That's why.
Kene is
That's
the
why,
enemy
like
of
me, I'm
progress. He's already
outside
defining.
now.
Sorry for interjecting. If it's it seems he's joining from Nigeria. I don't know.
Do you know what?
Network is
I won't call
He
it
can turn
enemies
off
of
his
progress,
video.
but
He can
justice.
turn off
So
his
that's it. I think the background must have stopped a bit. So that is my own stay on that matter. You understand? Because what's going on in the nation is just in, will I call it, in total disarray, and I'm not pleased with what's going on there for that state. Then this matter of government, to me, I would have been in short, that is one area I have much more interest in, because what's going? Let me see.
No, you are fine. We can hear you. Okay, I think you see, Kenya has driven him. You see, Kenya has
Niger, my hands has been up. My hands has been up. I wanted to say something.
I will, more. Please go ahead. But try to keep it brief so that we'll go to Kenya.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
All right.
Yes, I will. You see, the reason. I am for Biafra. That bottom line, you know my position already. I am for Biafra. But when you look at the current political system and the allocation and the representation, South is supposed to have a state. Because when you go to the National Assembly, there is what they call their voting power. How do you want a state with 5 states to have the same voting power with a region? I mean, how do you want a region with 5 states to have the same voting power in the National Assembly with a region that has 6 states? That is where the injustice started from. When they were creating those states, they didn't remember that South is supposed to be 6 or even 7. Because they have population. I lived in the north. What is the population in the north? When you travel from Zaria to Kano, you see empty space, empty spaces. I lived there for 18 years. When you go there to enumerate, the thing the owner of the house comes out to tell you, if he tell you there are 100 people there, you don't argue him. You don't argue. How do you want to tell me that you have abundance of life in the desert than where the sea is? This falsehood is the reason why Nigeria is where it is today. You gave other people a certain number, knowing fully well that it is from that population that they share your resources. That falsehood they give you, that is how they share the resources. If you count the number of people just like the way you do it where you are, when a child is born, the data will show. But it is not like that in Nigeria, as big as Nigeria, a giant of Africa. You don't have data, you don't have reliable data. Everything is by assumption, estimate. What kind of nation is that? Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, forefathers. You were talking about enemy of progress, right? I think the real enemy of progress here is Professor Data and Man of Prestige. They are the real enemy of progress here. Why I say this is because we're talking of equity. We're talking about doing things the right way. But when we see where we're supposed to actually advocate for equity, we tend to play politics, or we tend to sound what they call it, politically correct. By the way, I forget to greet our senior citizen, Dr. Alexander Gomez, and what is his name? Mr. Pansat. They are the 2 senior citizens we have here. I don't know if any other person has clocked 70. I don't think so. But this is it. The truth is, talking about creation of states, right, in Nigeria, we have to actually advocate for equity in that country if truly we want to move forward. Other states have 6 states. Other regions, individually has 6 states, right? So why is it that it is only Southeast that we have 5? Now, I was hearing that the Southeast are advocating for 2 more states. This is where I would differ, right? I think one is okay. And the one that I'll actually advocate for is the Anioma state. Anioma is overdue to be given a state. These people, they fought for this state not today. I think they started it in early 60s or 70s. Yeah, early 70s. They started advocating for additional state. That is the Anioma state. Then Osadebe fought for it. And now we have this courageous man, what's his name? The one man with multiple wives is fighting for it now. I think it's something that Ned Nwoko is something that a well-meaning Nigeria should actually support, because these people are Igbos, right? And they are of the southeast, and we know what happened, during the Biafran War, before, or I think soon after the Biafran War, how they were carved out from the southeast and merge with the then Midwest, right? So the Southeast deserved another additional state. Man of Precision was talking about population. What population are you talking about? Right? We have states in Nigeria that has less than 2 million population. The Anioma alone in Delta State is more than 2 million in population. The Anioma alone. So they deserve to be to be given the state. You and I know that there are countries.
But I don't
like
think they are
Vatican.
fighting for a state. I don't think they are fighting for a state, because if they fight for a state, one, they don't. Their area is not where the oil is, and they don't gain it from fighting for a state.
They are asking for additional state, not because of oil.
No. So the southeast is asking for more state, not south.
No, I'm talking about
the region we call southeast.
Yeah. Southeast is what I'm talking about, right? And forefathers, Anioma that is in Delta State is southeast, not south-south. I don't know where you're getting your south-south from. There is nothing like south-south ever in this world. So now, the Anioma that we're talking about is the northeast of Delta State. Northeast of Delta State is southeast. What is south-south, for God's sake? Even Delta itself is not south-south. You and I know that name, South-South, is political name.
I think Kogi, from what I gather, Kogi is not.
Why don't we have? It is only in Nigeria that we have South-South.
Hold on. Let me explain something to you. You see, Kogi in Nigeria is not classified as Southwest, if I'm not mistaken. The reason why
interrupt?
Because they are bordering states. They are bordering states. They have both sides in them.
Can I quickly interrupt just to say?
Kogi is towards the center.
Sorry,
when you look at the map. So Kogi
but
should
most
fall
of the
under
people are
middle
Yoruba
belt.
there. There are quite a lot of people that are Yoruba there.
Now you come.
But
there are Yorubas in Kogi State. Kogi as a state territorially is in the middle belt, not in the north. So they are of the middle belt. However, when you come to the middle belt, you have the you have Yorubas there, you have the Igalas, right? You have different languages. So those Yorubas in Delta State are still Yorubas till tomorrow, till forever. They are Yorubas. Just as when you go to Delta State, you have Igbos. You have the Igbos of Eka, that is the Abo, and even up to Ibanka in Edo State. They are Igbos forever. You can't change it.
Let me explain to you something.
Do you understand?
Like in the Kogi area, because they are bordering, you always have that. Even like Somalis in Africa, you always have bordering states. So they have both cultures, some of them mixed in them. So they decide where they want to cut it, and you always have people say they should cut it deeper. Some people say cut it less.
Regardless, are they still Yorubas in Kogi?
It depends on how they identify themselves. Some of them
are they Yorubas? Forefathers, tell yourself the truth. Are they Yorubas or not?
No, not all of them. Not all of them.
Are there Yorubas in Kogi State? Indigenous Yorubas of Kogi State? Do they have it? Do we have it?
Some of them identify themselves as Yorubas. Yes.
Thank you. The same way, in the same vein, we have Igbos in Delta. We have Igbos in Edo. We have Igbos in River State. They are still Igbos. We have Igbos even in Akwa Ibom. They are Igbos in Cross River.
Some people
but that is not even what we're talking about.
In Delta State as Igbos.
Yes, they
just
do.
like in River State. Some people in River State actually identify themselves as Igbos too.
They do. And what is his name? Ndudi Elumelu, Tony Elumelu's brother. Ifeanyi Okowa, the former governor of Delta State, they have come up openly on the national TV and even in the house and declare that they are Igbos. You can't change it from them. They are Igbos.
Tony Elumelu did that. Where is he
His
from?
brother Ndudi Elumelu from Delta
Okay,
State.
Ndudi, but
Yes,
didn't do that.
the CEO, I mean the owner of Arise TV, what's his name? Is Igbo. You can't change it. They have identified to be Igbo, and I actually calling because of you, forefathers, because I know you are always against this idea of Igbos.
Because you like to force you like to force people to accept it, but you don't respect their identification.
It's not. I can't force you to accept the truth.
I know people from that area that use surnames that are Edo. At the same time, you use surnames that sound Igbo. So you have to be careful by telling them that they are.
The question now would be, what language do they speak? What is their mother tongue? What language do they speak? Because in Nigeria, you cannot say that. You cannot claim that you don't have a language. You cannot have a mixed language. If your father is Fulani and your mother is Igbo, you are Fulani.
Okay, now let me say this.
Traditionally, culturally, that's how we believe. Right?
German language now, the German language you have now is very similar to the English language. Danke, like thank you, and so many words are the same, but they are different people.
Okay, now do you know? Do you also know that the Igbo, the kind of Igbo that we write today, wasn't the kind of Igbo our ancestors know 200 years ago? We have the Nsibidi, right? But today, that Nsibidi has been changed. What we are writing now is Igbo, like English Igbo mix up, because our alphabet today, the Abishidi, the Igbo Abishidi today, it is not our original Abishidi. Our original Abishidi, if you look at it, it looks like the Chinese language. You know, the Chinese sign.
Yeah, that's the Nsibidi language. Maybe you should come and present it now.
Yeah, does it still invalidate the fact that we are Igbos? That is the question. So in Delta State, you have the Anyoma, you have the Ibuza people, you have the Seluku, Iselasaba, and even up to Ika Abo and Ibanka, back of Edo State. They are Igbos. You don't deny them their origin, their ancestral mother and father tongue.
You can say they are mixed. They are not exactly one-sided. Some of them they are kingship, like the kingship of one of them you refer to Agbo.
You cannot come to my land. You cannot come to Igbo land and say that you are mixed in Igbo land. You can't come to Yoruba land today and say that you are mixed. Let's use Lagos for example. Because of the fact that Igbos are highly populated in Lagos State, then tomorrow Igbos will wake up and say that Lagos is Igbo land. No, Lagos is Yoruba land. It belongs to the Yoruba people, right? So what we are talking about is whether or not to have additional states in the southeast. Yes, it is due to have that additional state. Between the Olo state and the Anyoma, which one do we think makes more sense? I think the Anyoma makes better sense to me. I don't know what they call the Olo state. They should stay the way they are. But the Anyoma...
They are talking about the region that is actually southeast now.
That is the region that we're talking about now. The Anyoma is the region that we're talking about now. You don't just choose and pick. The Anyoma is part of the southeast. Even Delta as a whole is still southeast. Right? So forget about the political divisions. You know, they want to divide us from our people. You know what happened. Prophet, they are saying the truth now. You know what happened. And I actually want Jagun to add to this because I think Jagun is making more sense today. Jagun and
let's allow
Falere and Max, my brother. I think Olumide, I'm forgetting Olumide. See, these are the real men here.
Calm down. See, I don't know how you're going to call people that have a throne that is from let's say the Edo Kingdom.
No, what throne are you talking about? See, if you want us to go into that history, right? Let's have a minute to go into that history.
I'm just saying. Calm down. Let's some other person go.
It's like Nigeria today.
You know what? Some of us speak against. We can do that later on in the evening.
Can I quickly interject?
Yeah, a minute.
Father and Kenneth, please.
Okay.
All I want
go ahead, Jacob. Yes.
All I want to suggest to us is the way we look at regions, states, the way we look at geography, where Nigeria is concerned. do we not think that we have inherited our geography from the British colonialists who made the North so large? They included the Midwest in the North. Where Southeast is concerned, if we are talking of Igbos in the Southeast, where we look at it geographically, we can see what they used to call Midwest. The opposite of that would be Mid-East. So the territories of the 5 states of the Igbo land, is this really the East? Because the East should really go to the border of Cameroon, but we call it we're calling it the East. It's not the East. You see, what needs to happen? We need to throw away everything that we've inherited and practically start again. Because all this thing that we're using as table tennis, it's never going to make sense. Because we're, as far as I'm concerned, as a Yoruba man, I would want to say the whole of Kogi is Yoruba land, but it's not. It is not Yoruba land in its entirety. There are too many other ethnicities there that are, and I'm not even the Igala and Yoruba. These are Yoruboid languages. At the end of the day, they are very close. What I am saying is that all of the geography where Nigeria is concerned is all rubbish. All of it. It's rubbish because of where we inherited it from. What we have to do is brand new. We have to brand new the place. All this cloak and dagger that we have, it is extremely frustrating. You see, where Yoruba and Igbo are concerned, for me, the power in these two areas, we can't really ignore each other. And I believe that there is politics having us ignore each other. If Yorubas, I really, really believe this, if Yorubas and Igbos could somehow bring their differences down and heighten their similarities, that Nigeria would be a completely different country. You don't know that it's we in the South, in that South, no matter what ethnicity we claim, it is we in that South that are all over the diaspora. It is we. It is we who are sending money back into that country by the billions. It is we who are doing that. What? This is our money. This is us. This is us. How are we using arguments only? Where is the persuasion that, look, guys, my brother, I have 50 billion. You have 100 billion. Let's put this thing together. Let's call the South ours. The South is ours. Once we appreciate that, those people in the North have to wake up real quick, because in the North, the only union they have is Islam. They have no union ethnicity wise. They do not. The only union they have is Islam. Once they find out that they practice Islam differently, they themselves would have a different take on their ethnicity. I'm just suggesting this. Our ethnicity is important to us. Those that like to wave the flag that we are tribalist in our nature. I don't want to take on that because I think it's another European trope that we use to separate ourselves. Yes, okay, we are tribes. Yes, okay, we are indigenous. But the matter of fact is the power base is ours. Ours. And when we understand this word, ours, the whole idea of Yoruba, Igbo, this one, that one, and the fourth, it begins to calm itself down. And we begin to understand that in this Africa of ours, we have over 2,500 different ethnicities, more in language, more so than anywhere else in the world. This tells us that we've got to teach the world a lesson about unity. What we argue too much is our disunity. And it's becoming perilous, especially at the time when we have our elite who are playing a completely different game than you and I. So I want us to, as proud as we are, I want us to somehow lessen our pride and really look at the demographic, geographical, political assuasions that we need to perform in order to press forward. We can't stay stuck in the mud. We cannot stay stuck in the mud. So all I want to put to all of us, is that this geographical political designs that we have are firstly European and are secondly taken on by the elite in order to manipulate all of us and manipulate our pockets at the end of the day out of our hands. It was Buhari himself who said he wants to tax the money that is coming into Nigeria from the diaspora, from remittances. This is money that there's no necessarily to say that the North are involved in those remittances that he wants to tax. It's pathetic. So I'm just asking us to just wake up a little to some of the things that we're speaking about. The East, in being less politicized or less politically viable because they have 5 states, so their voting is lessened towards the whole of the nation. This is a crime, I'm afraid.
Jagun, let me finish up because forefathers kept interrupting me, and then I gave you time to come in. Now, this is it, right? We've all agreed that it is very viable to give, for Anioma state to come up, right? Now, the question is, how are they going to achieve? Because I heard someone saying that it is not possible.
What are you talking about?
No, those that are against. Oh, you see, you started interrupting me again. Those that are against it,
nobody agreed to.
No, hold on now. Those that are against it are of the minority, and they are the real enemy of progress. This was what I stated when before I started, saying what I was saying. Now, you see, we are to ignore those enemy of progress and go ahead and achieve this goal. How are we going to achieve it? Very simple. Now that we have somebody that is from, see, it's very difficult to even acknowledge the fact that Tinubu is the president now. However, yes, he's from the South region, right? Jagun is talking about having unity among the Southern politicians in order to achieve some certain goals. Now, it is not only affecting the Southeast when it comes to voting power, it is affecting the South entirely, right? Because the North, they have their balance, states that make up the regions there. But when you come to the South, we have one region shortened by a state. So if they have that, Anioma state, for example, it will balance out the number of representatives you have in the North and that of the South. Now we'll be left with the Mid-East or the Middle Belt, right? Now, but if you come to the Middle Belt as it is today, they are tired of whatever politics that is happening in the North. They don't want to be part of the North any longer. They want to have their own autonomy, like the Middle Belt. They don't want to be called North Central. What is North Central? I've never heard of that. Why not call them South Central? Why not call them West Central? Why not call them East Central? Now,
you are changing the middle. Hold on.
I'm trying to help.
Hold on for a second. What I'm looking at here is about all those states. You are changing the whole conversation to something else.
No. Even the topic stated Olu or Anioma. Yes. Olu state or Anioma. Okay, that's the topic. Please check the topic. Olu or Anioma.
The proposal.
The topic that Dr. Dameji shared. He said Olu or Anioma.
Yes,
right?
He shared that, but the discussion is about this. I don't see any Anioma.
We are talking about the East now because even the person.
I don't know why. Hold on. I don't know why. I don't know why Dr. Dameji did that. He probably said that.
Let me finish my nonsense then. Forefathers, let me finish my nonsense. Right? If it is nonsense, everybody will say. Yeah, let me finish my nonsense. The question is, even the person that sponsored the bill stated that Anioma of the Southeast. He did not say Anioma of the South or Southwest. He said Anioma of the Southeast. Even the sponsor of the bill, go and read it. So I don't know why you are trying to exclude Anioma from Southeast.
You can go ahead and do that now. You can go ahead and do that. Let's see how it works. Because I thought it was all that they were talking about, but you can go try and do that.
Yes. So what I'm saying, I'm urging our Southern political leaders, especially those in the House of Rep and the Senate, to come together this time and have the Anioma state achieved. When you have Anioma state achieved, it is of the advantage as well, right? I heard somebody saying that it will be to the detriment of Ndibo or the detriment of Southeast. How? How? Right now, the thing is, are we able to put down our egos, our pride, and nonsense political interests, and achieve this common goal that will be beneficial for everybody? If we're able to do that, I bet you, this northern political, I use my language, political criminals will be tired of this country. They will be the ones to even call for division of the country, because now they are of an advantage.
What do you think that would change, though? It's not going to change much.
It's going to change a lot of things. It's going to change a lot of things. When there is an argument, when there is something to be debated upon in the House, there will be like more or less like equal voting, and there will be more scrutiny on that subject topic. It's not it will not be the usual a system where those for I say hey and those for nay say huh. That's nonsense like they say in the House. No, it will be very, very scrutinized. That is the advantage. One, and secondly, the advantage. Hold on now. The second advantage is derivation. What they call it, distribution of resources. Right? If the Northwest is having resources based on their number of states that they have, the South should also have the same resources as well. When you are generating a lot of revenue from the South and you are now giving them, you're distributing more in the North. That is injustice. But when
that is not what is happening.
That is what is happening.
You're just making stuff up. You want me to show you the allocations? That's not what is happening.
Derivation, distribution, allocation of revenue, right? It's given by state. Each state every month they will go to Abuja, line up and collect their allocations, right? But 6 states will come from each region in the north. Yes. Only 5 states will come from the southeast. That is injustice. You are cheating us. We are being cheated.
I hear what you are saying,
right? But when states from northwest line up,
they allow people to talk. You know that Delta State has the highest allocation in the country.
Some region in the north
has the highest.
7 states, not 6, 7.
Exactly. Because of that, because of the fact that some region in the north. Sorry, thank you. I don't even know your name, but thank you for bringing this up. Because of the fact that some region in the north has 7 states, then I will also add the Olu. Let there be Olu and Anyoma now in the southeast, so that it will be 7. So what we should be advocating for is additional 2 states for the southeast. Yes, additional 2 states. See, I don't even know what is wrong with the Southeast senators and House of Representatives in that Senate. If they are not ready to really work, they should back out. See, if you are debating with your fellow senators, you don't turn to Akamu. Be man enough and speak up. And see, I don't want to be angry. See, Southeast representatives should wake up. They should wake up.
Let's clarify something. Hold on. Let's clarify something. Okay, the regions, sorry, hold on, man of prestige. The regions we have in the country, how many of them are 7 and how many of them are 6? There are 6 regions.
So father, it's my turn to talk. So father, it's my turn.
I think that is after Dexter. Yeah, but what are we going to do now? People wanted to listen to him. So, but the point, I think he's raising.
No, Kene was being interrupted. My time was taken off from me.
Can I ask you a question, Kene?
Man of prestige,
yes, sir, go ahead.
Man of prestige, hold on.
Let me ask you something.
Man of prestige, hold on.
Just give me a minute, Father.
You are not listening. I asked a question. How many regions have got 6 states? How many regions have got 7? Is the only one that has 7?
No, Northwest and North Central.
Okay, Northwest. So there are 2 of them. Then 4 of them. No, it means 3 of them have got 6, and 1 of them has got 5. And what they are trying to
no. The other region in the north have 6.
Okay, so no, I mean because there are 6 regions.
Yeah.
If 2 have got 7 each,
yes,
and it means that the remaining 4 they have to have 3. This in the 6, and only Southeast has 5.
Yes, that's correct.
So if you correct the Southeast one to get to 6, then you still have the other 2 that has 7.
Yes,
and if everybody wants to go to 7, then you're going to have a problem on your hand. Everybody will start breaking up states all over the place. And this could lead to problems, by the way. I don't know whether this is... If we start looking at this problem, look, hear the way Kene is talking now, you're going to have a big problem on your hand.
No, but
Kene wants 7 now.
Forefathers, why was it not a problem before that some have 7 and some have 6 and one region have 5? Why is it now that's going to be a problem?
Because I was thinking that they should make the Southeast 6. But if Kene is not arguing for 7, then you're going to have other people that are 6 now saying they too want 7. Then you have a problem.
Yes, actually, those that have 6 should also advocate for additional so that it will be balanced 7. If you want to have 7, let it be 7 equally. If you want to have 6, let it be 6 equally. By the way, forefathers, right? See, I'm from the Southeast, and I know our problem. I know what we are lacking in the Southeast, and I know how it affects us in the National Assembly, right? So that number that we are being shortened is affecting us. We are being cheated. Bunch of revenue, I mean, the bulk of the revenue is coming from the South. South is inclusive. At the end of the day, we'll get less distribution of the allocation, right? Revenue. South, I will ask you, forefathers, right? You now, I don't know if you're from the Northwest or Southwest. I don't know what is bothering you in your own region, but I know my own region. I know what we want. I know what is bothering me, and that is what I'm asking for. If you have 7 regions, 7 states that makes up a region in the north, you should also have 7 states in the southeast that should make up a region in the southeast. Don't just pick and choose for us. This is the country that we own together, right? So if you want equity, let's come with clean hands. For equity's sake, forefathers, you may choose not to advocate for your people. That is okay, but I'm advocating for my own people. I know what is good for us. See, and I know, I wish every well-meaning Southeasterner should support this idea of additional state in the Southeast. This is where equity will come.
Hold on. You could be an enemy of your own progress. If you start saying, okay, they want to create 6 states, because others have 6. At least 3 regions have 6 already. Others have 6. So they want to make Southeast 6 now. And you are now saying, no, 6 is not enough. You want 7. That if the argument starts, then you are going to torpedo the entire thing. That's what I'm worried about. What you're saying.
The fact is, we are only asking for additional state, and yet people like you are saying no. We are not deserving of additional state.
Did I say
but you are having 7, right? So because of the fact that you are even,
I said Southeast should have 1 more state. That's what I started with, because others have 6 and Southeast
and I said among the South, among the 2 regions or the 2 states that the Southeast are putting on the table, the Olo and Anioma, I said let it be given to Anioma, and you are now trying to push Anioma out of Southeast, claiming that Anioma is not part of Southeast. And I asked, what is your headache there?
Because the term Southeast is region in terms of Nigeria right now. They call it Southeast region, South, and
but the sponsor, the person that actually sponsored the bill is saying that Anioma is Southeast.
Can you allow me express myself?
Yeah.
So the regions are defined by region right now. So when they say they want to create a state in Southeast, not that you go and take another chunk out of South. That is not what I thought. I said they should create 1 more state in the Southeast. If you say they start changing stuff, believe you me, where that is going to go, you're not going to like it.
Okay. So can you give me time to express myself as well? Now,
you've had enough time. Sorry.
No,
there's Dexter
hold on.
that is in right now.
That is not right. That is not correct. What you just said is not correct.
1 minute. Yeah, you can correct me in 1 minute.
So the correction here is this. The northeast of Delta State is part of Southeast. Matter of fact, Delta's Asaba itself is in Southeast. Delta as a whole, both Urobo, Ijo, they are all part of Southeast. That is the fact. But politically, in order to hurt the population of the Southeast, South was created. You and I know this. That is fine. That is fine. However, the Igbo-speaking part of this Delta say that no, they are of Southeast. Are you trying to tell them they are not? Is that what you're trying to tell them? That they don't know where they belong?
Don't worry. Before we know it, Borno will be Southeast. Dexter, please carry on.
Hello. Thank you, everybody. First of all, I'm going to ask Forefather, please, where is Rudolph? Where is Dr. Damages?
Dr. Damage is indisposed at this time, but he's going to be joining us very soon, and he wishes all his well wishers good tidings. And yes, he's fine.
Okay.
He's very, very
Yeah,
fine.
thank you. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I want to give hats
Thank you
off
for
to
asking. Yeah.
yeah, no worries. Hats off to Jagun. I have to. I mean, today everything you said is.
Nigeria
really
don't lie to us. So if they have kidnapped him, tell us that they have kidnapped him and render him somewhere, please.
No, he's in a dungeon somewhere. How can you believe what I said? He's in a dungeon somewhere. I'm waiting serious questioning.
Yeah, so yeah, hats off to Jaguar and his contribution. I've just been listening in the backstage. You know, it's kind of a, I don't want to use the word a shame, but it's kind of, I'm perplexed about the discussions we're having and the arguments we're having. You know, sometimes when you have arguments on falsehood, when the foundation is faulty, they say, what can the righteous do? And we're having an argument that if you interrogate it deeply from the root, you find out that we're having a faulty argument that would never lead to the utopia that we desire. What do I mean? When Nigeria was crafted, the way we are cutting everything up now, we don't realize that this is divide and conquer. The place that forefathers is trying to say, oh, these people you must be southeast, then these people must be south. All those people lived as one before. All those people, they spoke different languages, but they have the same cultural tradition. The people that live from where you are calling southeast, even don't forget, you used to call it what you call Edo and Delta today, used to be Bendel State. They all share the same cultural tradition. Now, somebody comes and starts dividing them, not because of any good reason, but for resource gain. The reason why Nigeria was cannibalized, balkanized, is for resource gain. The strong center wants to take the resources. That is what is. There's a video I watched from on channels today. I will send it to you, forefather. There was a guy from the southwest that described what is happening in Nigeria and how it cannot work. And as long as we keep all these things we are interpolating, it will not work. You see, and you can see how a bad foundation works. Forefather is bent on saying, oh, no, the southeast must be the southeast. Kenya is there trying to say, oh, no, you don't even want the people to choose what they want. That is, we're even taking away the rights of the people to choose what they want. Which country is this one? Why can't people decide? I read what Ned Woko said. Ned Woko is a member of the Senate. He's the one writing a bill for Anioma. And they are saying Ika, all those places. Now, what is Ned Woko trying to do? Before the Nigerian Civil, if you can't read the history, before the Civil War happened in Nigeria, you always had this thing of the Igbos on the other side of the Niger, what you call the South, is always felt that their Igbo was more superior to the Igbos across. That's the Igbos after or in Asaba and onwards. But there was a committee that went around to try to say, no, there's no difference. All of us are one. They were all uniting. They had cultural festivals that were done to make them see that it is, your Igbos are not different. That is what was building. Now, after the Civil War, what happened is it is just divide and conquer, and it is normal conquest. When you win a war, what do? You try and anything that will give the people strength so they don't rise again. That is old tactics. That is the tactics of the 19th century. The tactics of the 20th century, which America adopted in Germany after the Second World War, was to develop the place. Unfortunately, Nigeria employed the 19th century tactics, which all of us here are arguing based on. We're not even seeing development. Let me ask you a question. I thought about something today. There was this thing in the northeast in Nigeria. Insurgent people say they don't want education. They are destroying themselves. They created Northwest Commission to be giving them money. In the Niger Delta, they balkanized. They said they want to destroy everything. They created NDDC to develop them. Now, Nigeria bundled some people, try to crush them. After trying to crush them, you say, okay, no victor, no vanquished. You did not create any commission for them. But what did you do? You took all their money. all the money they had, you said it is worth 20 pounds. So the person that had 1,000 pounds got 20 pounds. The person that had 20,000 pounds, then they did not do anything for them. The people, which kind of country? Why are we? And we are arguing over it. It's a pity. There's no hope. If we are arguing over injustice, there's no hope. The problem with Nigeria is people see the reality, see the truth. They can't say it because lies have been put upon lies, and the bias is on our mind that we cannot even see the truth and say, look, oh, we make no progress. Unfortunately, what people don't realize is this: the same people that initiated all these things now look at their regions. Are we not realizing that the thing is spreading everywhere? This whole thing is spreading. Oh, they are dividing these people. They are trying to make them feel small. There's no need. And what we should realize today in Nigeria is that if Nigeria wants to stay together, this whole idea of, okay, we are going to Abuja to, it's not going to work. The North is self-sufficient. The North can feed the whole of Africa. That is the truth. The North can feed the whole of Africa. Every region in Nigeria is sufficient enough to exist. But this whole idea of divide, we are still arguing on the faulty foundation. The Senate is still arguing on the and us here, they're supposed to be writing, coming up with ways that will make Nigeria progressive. We are arguing on that faulty foundation. Somebody is across the river, your brother. Look at the people in Oyibo, the place you call Oyibo, they've changed to Obibo. The same people, they answer the same name. Some of them are in Abia State, some of them are in, oh, you've divided them. Tell them they are not brothers. These are relatives. When Nigeria was about to invade Niger Republic, is it not the same northerners that say, no, they are our brothers across the line? Those are our brothers, don't go and fight them. But all of us here will be saying, oh, they're not my brother. Which kind of, well, look, I'm disappointed that the arguments we are having are baseless on injustice. We should have arguments on truth. And if we cannot go back and tell ourselves the reality, the truth, then look, there's no hope for Nigeria. Thank you.
Let me just share this link before we go to the next person. I'm sure it's a giant. He's going to say a lot. Righteous Man, I will be coming to you so that you give your comment before AY goes. Let me just share this information so that we get a better idea of what we are talking about. Look at the allocations of in Nigeria. Delta has the highest by a long shot, and something tells me that it's mostly the riverine.
The highest what? Sorry, I can't see.
Allocation. Let me zoom in again. So they have the highest allocation in Nigeria by a long shot. Then you have River State, Akwa Ibom, and if you look at all these places, creating this in another state there. That's why I was asking.
Can you also share revenue derivation from each state?
Yes, I will share that. That's GDP.
So that we'll compare how much is being derived from the state, how much is being given to the state.
Yeah, GDP
per
state.
What year figure is this, please?
I think 2023 figures. So these are it's quite a lot of them come from the south. The proportionate amount of them come from heavyweights, the south. Then before you start getting some northern states and all the rest, then you start getting southeast. Now look at the demographics of Nigeria. This is why the submission that Jagun made was a little bit not taking some people into account. Like these Ibibio people, for the life of me, I don't know why they are so silent in Nigeria. Nobody hears about them. Ibibio, they make up 3.5% of the population in Nigeria, and they are right there in the east. Next to River State, Imo State, and all the rest. They are right there. And you have the TIV, they're just above them. So the point I was trying to make is that when people say Southeast, they just assume it's only one people there. It's not only one people there. There are quite a lot of different people in that area, including Ijo and all kinds of different weird, like Urobo. Urobo is not Ijo. Urobo is not Igbo. They are just their own people. And there are quite many. I was surprised how many there are.
According to this ethnic population that you just shared now, did you actually believe that Fulani is much in number than Ibibio?
Yes, Fulani is 6%. Okay. Fulani is 6%. I don't know why.
You believe that forefathers?
Go and see how. Have you checked their family sizes? Go and check.
If you believe it, you can believe anything.
Okay, I believe anything then. I see. You know, the thing about these numbers is that you can't. It's hard to hide from them because the data is there now. It's not. We keep saying
the
there's no
question
data.
is,
There's data.
the question
please,
is,
can you share revenue
how
derivation
did you
from
get
each
the
state
data?
to the
Yes,
federal
let me
government?
find that. Let me
How
find
did
that.
you get the data?
Revenue.
The data comes from, like right now, if I was in Nigeria, I don't worry too much about census. I would watch the bank accounts, watch the NIN numbers, watch the health numbers, watch all those things. You will know who is who. You will know from all those things.
Unfortunately, they wouldn't do that.
Who's righteous man?
Please help us share revenue derivation from each state.
Yeah,
to
I'm
the
looking
federal
for it.
government.
I'm looking for it. Righteous man, please go ahead. Then AY can contribute.
Yeah, Ekene, you got good points, but you made some mistakes. Okay. There have never been a time Delta State, Asaba, was part of the Southeast. They were part of the Western region. I mean, Middle-Western region. At least my assistant in the office then when I was working is from Ogwashuku. I used to travel to Ogwashuku to eat pounded yam and the rest of it. So Asaba had never been part of the Southeastern region. It's Midwestern region, So let me just correct it. It may be an oversight anyway.
But Asaba is Igbo, right?
Yeah,
Igbo
they
land.
are. We are not denying that. But in region, when you are partitioning, since the time of the colonial master, they have never put Asaba under the southeastern region. It has always been Midwestern region, So we have to put the history.
Righteous man, we're not talking about region now. We're talking about ethnicity. Igbo, Asaba is Igbo. Just the way if you go to Ebonyi State, there is this part of Ebonyi State that are not Igbo speaking, but they are in Ebonyi State. They are not Igbos, but they are in Ebonyi State.
Yes.
Being in Ebonyi State doesn't make them Igbo. They are not Igbos. Originally, they are not Igbos.
Ekene, Ekene, I'm in Nigeria and my identity is not hidden. I am from Imo State. I don't hide my identity because I'm not a criminal. So listen,
are you saying that those that hide their identities are criminals?
No, it's a personal opinion. I'm talking of myself.
Oh, okay.
I am just saying that if there is any person that should gratefully accept what you're saying, at least I should be one of them because I'm from Imo State. I'm not hiding where I'm coming from. Okay? I'm a born Imo indigene, a free citizen of Imo indigene, and a citizen of Nigeria. I have no criminal record and nobody is looking for me for any crime. Okay? So I support the creation of one additional state to the southeast. But to say Asaba was part of the eastern region, I say capital no, because I am a student of history. It has never been. Okay?
I agree with you. You overflogged that. I agreed already. It was a slip from my side. But
that's the beauty of Kene. When he knows he's wrong, he admits very quickly. So let me show you what you were asking for, Kene.
Father, I have not finished.
Okay, I'm not finished. I wanted to show Kene what he was asking. Okay, let me take it back. Go ahead. Finish what you were saying. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Forefather, we know that you love argument. But for the sake of listeners and people who want to have this platform as a channel of education, learning and contributing, we enjoy the way. I'm not saying you should be like Okija, but when Okija handled this platform moderated last time, it was so beautiful. Nobody wanted to leave the platform, It was going like eating amala with a wedu. Please, can you reduce the time you use in interjecting, interrupting, and making people feel they don't know what they are talking about? Allow them to make their submission. At the end of the day, you can counter it or support it. But interjecting them,
and he interject only me. He cut me off all the time.
No, but sometimes righteous man. Even you see what people don't notice is that when I checked it, Dr. Damages, he does interrupt people because they respect him. You don't respect me. That's why he don't like me interrupted. He does interrupt.
No, we all respect you. No. Forefather, we respect you, but Try to listen to us. Okay, let's assume you are the president now. You must listen to the people that you are governing. You must listen to the people that are your subject and learn from them so that you can be a better leader. You know, we're not saying we don't respect you, but you overdo things and it's not okay. My people used to say, "Okenye no, ewu amanogu bu ajo okenye." Let me interpret it. An old man
So
that is in the house
let me show you
and
what.
see a goat rope himself to a tree without losing it. That old man is a bad old man, you know. So at least with some of us have crossed 50 years of age, going to 60, we must be able at any time point out whatever that we see has not been a good thing, you know, in this platform. And I can tell you, we respect you, we love you, but your leadership when it comes to anchoring this program is not the best. It brings a drawback and makes it look as if we are not serious in this platform. You know, that's just by the way. You know, we love you. So,
okay, you're still making a point. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, please. Some people on the comment section have been saying, "Oh, righteous man, you look drained. Righteous man, you are feeling too big." Passat wrote, he said, "Take heart, please." See, when you are a father, you will feel for others. When you are a father, what touches another person touches you. Just like the children that are dying in Gaza. Anytime I see this on television screen, it bothers me. They don't need to be Christians. They don't need to be Jews. They need to live because they are humans. They have blood and water flowing in their body. Okay? So the condition of that little baby really touched my soul and my spirit today. And it really made me feel bad because if Nigeria is working, General Hospital would have not turned them away. If Nigeria is working, private hospital wouldn't charge that humongous amount of money they are calling, knowing that this young boy and young girl just got married. They are not rich. They are not well to do. They are just struggling to make a living, you know, and their baby is almost giving up just because of surgery that they need to carry out. That is the reason why my face looked the way it looked. I am downcasted. I know if I've been in that position I used to be before, is something I can close my eyes and feel the bill, which I was doing before, you know, and doing it without complaint because I know things were working perfectly okay in Nigeria then. That is the reason why I am the way I am today. But so many people here have asked of the account of the baby or the parents. So many have asked of my phone number. I have displayed it there, but if you need the account, I will send it to you. The mother's account of the baby in the hospital, I can send it to you. If you need clarification, you can send somebody to see them in the hospital where they are. You know, for those who wants to make any contribution, you are free. Whatever we do for humanity, we've done it for ourselves and for God. Jesus said in the Bible, "I was sick and I came to you and you rejected me. I was hungry and when I came, you didn't feed me." And they were asking him, "Master, when did you come to me?" He said, "That poor man that came to you was me." You know, I heard one Muslim sheikh preaching one day. He said, if Christians were living by the words of Jesus Christ, that this world would be a better place. And I agree with him totally, you know. So let's be human. Let's have the feeling of others. It may be well with us today. Look at your neighbor who is not feeling that goodness you're feeling, and also have a sympathy for him
sorry,
or her.
forefathers, can I just chip something? You know, righteous man, you're my brother. We're all here.
Masker, we are waiting for forefathers to share a list of, you know, to show us how the revenue is being generated from each and every state in Nigeria. He shared the allocation. We want the revenue. Please,
But that is okay, Kene. But I mean, I'm trying to talk about what righteous man. If you would allow me, forefathers, righteous man. I think what you need to do, even before this show goes too far, maybe you need to confirm how much this surgery will cost in total. Put out some detail and the account number. 450,000.
Yes.
Which hospital is it?
In Lagos, I don't know the name of the hospital, but they are in one hospital.
No, so that's what I
hospital.
mean. A phone call, just get additional details so that people can quickly put together support, and then this issue would be dealt with. That's all I'm saying. Rather than us belaboring the issue, what is required is numbers now, the amount, the place, what would be the thing, so that people who are going to give their money, they have a clear understanding what they are giving out for. And when the 450 is reached, people can be told, okay, no, there's enough money. Thank you.
Has Dr. Damage been informed about this? Because it would have been best to run this through him first. I'm sure you have contact with him, righteous man, to run it through him, so that, because I think he did say something about the confusion that can come with money for him and money for this. Nobody needs financial wahala. So let's try to keep things clean and proper. That said, I think Kene is not going to let me rest until I share that detail.
That because you always talk about allocation. Please share.
It's an allocation you had, righteous man. You are making it a whole submission. Come on, let's be reasonable here.
So you spend 45 minutes with Ekene. You spent 45 minutes with Ekene. I was timing you.
I not me. It's Ekene. You put it on me.
No, you are interjecting Ekene. You caused it.
Thank you, righteous man.
I agree with you. That maybe that is true. But we want to move to the next person. We'll come back.
No. You can't rob me. It is my turn. I waited patiently here.
You had your turn. You know you had your turn.
I have not my turn. For the cause of it.
See,
from what you just said now, right?
I didn't time you. Just hold on for a second. The first time you spoke, righteous man, I didn't time you. You finished talking. So just because some other person decided to talk longer, doesn't mean that you have to come back and take more turn. That they are now cheating you. Let's be reasonable.
That's correct. The forefathers, you shared the revenue sharing formula for 2023, and you are sharing the derivation for 2022. That is not.
So you want me to share the 2023 crazy one?
No, for the sake
crazy
of
one where the economy accounts crazy.
For the sake of argument,
yes,
you should synchronize.
The same year, please.
If you want to share 2022,
it's not easy to find this shit. It's not easy to find.
Okay, we can even make do with this one.
Yeah, you can have an idea of the shit.
Yeah, we can even make do with this one. So, Nigeria federal government use federal government money to build refinery in Kaduna, and that is why Kaduna is in number 7.
Okay, but
so
if you look at this list here,
now show me from number 1 to number 14. How many northern states did you see there?
14. Okay, let's see whether Kano is there.
Okay, so forefathers.
Yeah.
Can I say something to Eken?
Yes, Maska.
Okay, let me remove this so you can. Yeah, please go ahead. I think is we have to remember AY.
So what's your point? What's your point, Eken, that there's no northern state there?
Yes, my point is northern states are parasites. There are the relationship between the southern and the northern states is a parasitic relationship. I will defend whatever I say.
It's okay, let him finish.
I will defend whatever I say. It's parasitic relationship, and for that, being a parasite, you don't dictate for the owners of the item that you are enjoying, right? So if you are a parasite, you have to accord yourself some respect and allow others to thrive. Now, you having 7 states, you're having 6 states on each region, right? But you don't want the actual people that you are benefiting from to have equal state as you. That is the problem. So that mentality that they would dictate for everybody is what I'm kicking against. Yeah, it is okay. It is what it is. But you have 6 states, you have 7 states.
But so I take your point just to you. My response to you, Ekene, will be twofold. Okay.
Yes.
First, I think you're looking at things wrongly.
Okay.
The reality is that the whole country as a nation, if you look at the IGR, I can put it to you that it's not a function of the way the economy is that tells you what is generated. It's the function of the type of leadership in all these places. You can argue that. This is my own opinion
No,
also.
I can even argue that I can even give you reasons why what you just said now is not correct. For example, in Enugu State, we have Nigerian brewer in Enugu State. So Nigeria derive revenue from Nigerian brewers. We have one in Anambra. I don't know. I think we have some in Lagos as well. So revenues are being generated from these brewers, right? Now, if you come to Kano, you dare not even sell alcohol, not talk of having brewer in Kano. Niger State, the same. Zamfara, same. And some other northern states, right? And the fact that this state, Kano, Niger State, Zamfara, is not just monolithic state. You have other ethnic groups. You have other religious groups there. You have Christians. Actually, in Niger State, the population of Christians are two-thirds of the Muslims. But they ban sales of alcohol, and Christians drink alcohol. Now, you don't generate revenue from those states.
Slow down.
But you enjoy the revenues generated from other states. From the same alcohol is being distributed to you and you enjoy it. But in your own state, hold on, Tishi, have this girl, please. In other states, the revenue generated from other states is being allocated to you in the north, and you enjoy that from the same alcohol sales or production, right? That is the injustice that we shouldn't be allowing, and that is what we are kicking against. I don't have anything against the north. I'm a northern indigenous.
No, okay, so
let me even put it that way, right?
You are trying to convince me that it's simply because not as a region is a parasitic region. That's why internally generated revenues are not sufficient. But I hear what you're talking about is making a case where alcohol, you're making it sound as a dominant source of income. This is what I hear you argue.
No.
Because all your argument is about alcohol.
I just started an example with one out of many, right? Now, Maska, you're a Nigerian, a true northerner. Let's be frank, with each other here. On that list, we saw Castina and Kano. Tell me the revenue being generated from Castina and from what? Castina, for example.
I don't know from Castina, but I can tell you from Kano.
Nothing. Just to tell you that number you are seeing there is a falsified number. Castina is not supposed to be here. There's nothing to be generated from Castina. Nothing. If you say Sokoto, I will agree with you because Sokoto produce onions. They have companies in Sokoto few.
So this is my argument.
So what is the revenue being generated from Castina?
Hold on, Kenny, hold on. You are just reconfirming my argument that the mentality is a warped mentality. Okay? When I was young, every single cattle is taxed. From cattle alone, if you tax cattle in Katsina, you should have enough money. My argument simply is that the leaders we put in place, they are not up to the task. The reality is that they simply sit down in their offices and wait for the time they go and collect allocations. And it's not a northern issue. You can deceive yourself, but southeastern governors are guilty of the same thing. If they put their thinking hard together and look at the economies that we have, even from palm oil alone, that region will be generating a lot of billions of dollars. Forget about the north. This argument is a warped argument.
No,
just that we are looking at the
I agree with you on this, right?
In 30 seconds, I will land
it. We need to devise other ways of generating
just give me 30 seconds so that I can land.
But from what we have at hand now, there is a lopsidedness there, right?
Allow him to land now.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry. I'm not that person that interject people. Go ahead.
Okay, so the point I'm simply landing on, Ekene, is that we should try as much as possible to avoid what I call warped thinking. Because once you stop looking at the people in front of you, you start looking at other people, you fall into the same pitch. I am not happy with my state governor as Kano. I believe they can generate much more. The idea that they are generating more than Katsina is not enough for.
Okay.
No, from the list, actually, Castina claimed to generate more than Kano.
let me show you something, Kenny. I think, Masca, you're not necessarily doing this argument. Look at the GDP per state. And if you look at their revenue, they don't correlate, do they?
No, I'm not trying to argue. I'm not trying to argue a point for fathers. All I'm trying to is to correct Ekene's thinking that the idea that these people are generating, the point is that the people that today are at the helm of affairs in all the states across the country, they are not doing a good work at generating income. That's all.
Okay, now let's look at this. If you look at Lagos, is by far the #1 GDP per capita. That's GDP in Nigeria. Rivers State, Akwa Ibom, Imo State, and Anambra State. You see, now these two states that appear amongst the top 10 from the southeast, they are disproportionately not donating enough to the Nigerian coffers. If you want to look at it from that point of view, Kene, what would you call it? They get more resources, but they don't donate as much to the Nigerian coffers. So there's a lot of wealth being generated there, but not enough in terms of IGR generated for the nation. So
okay, so I didn't actually no forefathers revenue derivation from this state to the federal government is what I asked. It is not internally generated revenue.
Yeah, but
the ones that are being donated, the one that is being given to the federal government is what I asked.
That is true. But you use that matrix to call the not parasites. When
yes,
in reality,
you know why I will call them parasites, unless you prove me otherwise here by showing us how much they contribute to the federal government. That is what we want to see, not how much they generate in their own state. How much do the federal government get from each and every state? That is what we want to see, because you shared allocation. You share allocation to each state. Now share contribution from each state to the federal government. That is where we will be making sense here.
I showed you that to you, and I showed you the allocation. And the allocation, they are not exactly getting that much allocation. Like, you're making it look like they don't donate a lot, but they get a lot of allocation. They don't look at it.
Exactly. That is what it is.
Look at the list of allocation here. Just look at it again.
Just two states, Katsina and Kano, from the northern state.
I think this is IGR. Where's the allocation one? Again?
Fall on the list of top 20.
This one is IGR. This one is this thing. Where is that allocation, Wahala? Okay, I think this one is allocation. Okay, look at the allocation now. This is 6th. This thing. And now look at this in IGR for the distinct states. It's 9th. So it's not that displaced from its position.
Forefathers. Do you know the difference between IGR and federal contribution? I don't know the name they call it. Internally generated revenue is for the states.
Yes.
Then how much do these states give to the federal government, contribute to the federal government? So that is what we want to know.
Can I help
what do they call that? What do they call that?
Forefathers.
I don't even know. Economics should help us.
That's GDP. Then you can that on that GDP.
Okay, GDP, right?
Can somebody else talk?
So forefather, what Ekene is saying is, what Ekene is trying to find out is, in terms of what each state is contributing, we are a federal structure. Bayelsa has oil. This is what they are contributing to the federal coffers from the oil generated from Bayelsa. Delta State has oil. This is what they are contributing. Ondo State has bitumen. This is what they are contributing. Now, Zamfara has gold. How much of that gold is going into the federal coffers?
God bless you.
So, Katsina has cattle, like what Maska said. How much of that cattle is going into the federal coffers? That's what we're saying. That's what he's saying.
Okay, so you see, Olumide, thank you for that argument. Thank you. So, Kene, what I'm trying to draw your attention to is that if we engage each other on this argument at that level, we miss the point. And what is that point? The truth is that if Katsina has gold and is not contributing to the federal government, who do you think is enjoying this gold? You think it's the poor man in Zamfara?
The rich political elite.
Wait. You think Zamfara sit down and share that gold to the poor people?
So, Masker, that is fine. We don't need to fight over it. That is why we should talk
That's the
about
point
this
I'm
issue.
making, that if you
Let's
carry on this
so we, but
argument and put
don't
it on
stop
the
anybody
table,
from talking
you're
about the
missing the
issue.
whole point.
Let's talk about the issue. If you don't talk about the issue,
Olumide
get dealt
Junior
with.
wants your attention. Oh.
Sorry?
I think your son was behind you a moment ago.
So what I'm trying to say is that let's deal with the issue. If you don't talk about the issue, it doesn't get dealt with. The fact that the man that is supposed to...
And sorry, Olumide, let me add on top of the point I'm making. If you take the state that generates or gets even the highest IGR, let's say Lagos, for instance, a lot has been said about the quantum of this IGR that is going into private pockets. Are you okay with it? Just because Lagos is number one on the IGR list, you're not worried about what happens to the money? Is that the issue now?
Masker, which brings us to the question. Let the people elect their leaders. When they elect who they want, the person that is there that is supposed to hand over to the next person will